Hi everyone, this is Ben just dropping in to say that we aren't dead. You might remember from the last episode that I was expecting a baby. That baby is now here, and the time that I would have spent doing podcasts is now being spent being pooed on. But we are going to be back soon with some new episodes. In the meantime, enjoy this best of from 2020. See you soon.
We need to make like a new extra theme tune to go like powering on, tick 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 tick, Zoom
solving
recording
audio issues for
audio,
minutes on end.
One of 57.
Yeah, please stand by.
Estimated time remaining 34 minutes. Oh man.
Interesting things said by uninteresting people. You're hosted by Ben and Tom. Interesting things said by uninteresting people.
Okay, a bit closer. There we go. Okay, I'm ready. Let's do
Mate,
it.
I think you should get Pocky like on the desk.
Well,
podcast
he's over
mascot.
there now. If I bring him
You
on,
son of a bitch.
He's soaking wet as well. Mate, the other day he jumped up on my desk a lot, and it's been raining a lot in merry old England, and he just like kind of rubbed himself against my monitor, and it was soaked afterwards. I was like, oh, blood fuck's sake.
You bastard.
I know. You can't be angry at him though, because he just looks at you and goes, meow. It's like, aw.
You know, there are times when I wish people could see this because that face that you made was incredible. All of our UK listeners will be in the country where the vaccines are rolling out. That's got to be good news, right?
Yeah, but my girlfriend Callie has had her vaccine.
Fantastic.
Which is mad.
Can she report back on what it's like to be hooked up Lawnmower Man style to the 5G?
Yeah, well, now that she has got 5G, she has turned into a bit of a government stooge.
Oh, fine, okay.
She keeps like flying a Boris flag out the window and keeps telling me to get the vaccination as soon as possible to join the ranks.
It's like, mate, what I'm picturing is like one of these scam sex chats where it's like all they want to tell you to do is, hey honey, why don't you send me some money? It's like, Callie, what do you want to do? Hey Tom, have you had the vaccine yet?
Yeah, get the vaccine. Would you want to watch TV? The vaccine?
You should really get that vaccine. Yeah. Kicking down the door.
We can be happy again. Just
stay
me
alert,
and you.
save lives.
She keeps repeating that.
Just me and you and everyone else.
She needs to go on charge now instead of going to bed. Have you got a list? I hope you've got a list because I don't.
I've got a list here. Well, I'll tell you what. Should we just go down? Should we just go down the list right here?
Let's do the list.
Item number 1, mate. Fucking robots can dance now.
Oh yeah,
and that is literally what it says on the list.
Yeah. So this was the Boston Dynamics. Was it end of the year sort of sinister video to make us not feel particularly safe? That's like, kind of what it felt like. A sinister flex that they can now beat you at dancing as well as killing.
Dude, do you think that's what it is? They're trying to take our mind off the virus? Because, like, look, guys, you have not got a thing to worry about COVID. What you need to worry about is a Macarena-ing death bomb.
Yeah, too right. And then they might as well put at the end of the video, by the way, robots can't get viruses like you can. Right, it's on.
So this is the bit of the podcast that you're recording to go into the video about what you're recording.
That's right. I haven't got a microphone on the camera, so it might sound awful, but I will just say I'm recording the podcast with Ben here. Hello, Ben. Into the iPad Air with voice notes running on one side and Zoom running on the other. Split screen. It's working great with the Rode NT USB Mini. And it sound good, Ben?
It sounds great to me, mate. You always sound good, but this sounds pucker.
Yeah, Ben says it sounds pucker. I just realised you can't hear what he's saying, but I can. Anyway, it is running well. I'll stop recording that now. There you go.
Of all the things I've ever seen that are absolutely not going to make it into the final cut of a video.
Oh yeah, that's
got to be number one.
Yeah.
You were asking about me doing YouTubes.
Yeah, do you know,
Not to be ashamed. I don't know what you want to know.
No. I was thinking about this. Actually, I can build the two questions into this. I was thinking about this on my daily walk, my daily exercise Boris walk.
Mandated exercise. Yeah.
Mandated. You must exercise. You must have the vaccine.
You come with me to the vaccine centre, Tom.
You must be home by 7. Lights out by 9. Yeah, I was thinking, well, what if, just because I was thinking about everyone's free time, I was like, what would, say if there was no option, but you had to start a YouTube channel. And I was just thinking about what would all my friends do? Like, if you had like 2 weeks to make a video, what would you do? So I was going to ask you, Ben, if you had to start YouTube for some reason, what do you think the area would be? What would you do? Or have you thought about it before? I feel like this sort of thing might cross your mind on the odd occasion.
It's crossed my mind on the odd occasion. I feel like I need to make a distinction. Sorry, that sounds like I'm stalling for time here, which I absolutely am.
Which I'm not.
I'm just going to tell you straight to the point. Because I feel like there'd be a difference between me doing a YouTube video on something I felt like I had stuff to say about,
right,
versus me doing a YouTube video on something I would really enjoy talking about.
Yeah. So let's run down the best possible path then. The enjoyment sort of thing.
The enjoyment path, I'd probably do like something to do with music, I would say.
Yeah.
Honestly, it would either be maybe me just, you know what? I'd maybe like just, I don't want to say music reviews because it wouldn't even be a review. Do you know what I'd like to be? Like the David Attenborough of music, where, because this is, if you've ever had a few drinks with me at a party where there's any kind of music playing, I know I have the tendency to become utterly insufferable. I'd be like, no, but just listen, wait. That bit. Oh yeah. Do you hear how that comes in? So I don't know.
Definitely.
Maybe it wouldn't be so much a review. It'd be like Ben's going to tell you why he thinks that this song's really good. That might be. To be honest, mate, that might actually be it. Yeah.
That might be it.
Something like that. Because I mean, I could do videos about making music, but I feel like my own process of doing that is so scatty that it wouldn't condense well into a video.
Do you know what I actually had you pinned for?
Go on.
I was like, Ben would either do this or that. I thought a video you might do would be like how I recorded my own EP at home. That's what I first thought, like how I did the music thing.
It could be, yeah, okay.
Then I also thought Ben's Rex, a YouTube channel.
Ben's Rex.
Ben's Rex. He just talks about like, right, I've watched this. It's worth watching.
Mate, you've hit the nail on the head. You've hit the nail on the head. It's the same when I'm talking about saying why music's good. Basically, what it comes down to is I know best. I've got all these opinions. You are definitely going to want to hear them. So
mine
buckle
are
up.
better than yours.
Buckle up for the next 27 minutes while I tell you about Wonderwall. Mate, right. Let's talk about happier things. My new absolute favourite Twitter account is science diagrams that look like shit posts. Okay. Now to kind of understand this, I guess you have to define what a shit post is or what shit posting is.
Right.
It's kind of difficult to describe because it is just nonsense. It's the idea of derailing a conversation with just nothing. It's
nothingness. The Ken M of the picture world.
Exactly. And it's like they say about porn. Even if you can't define it, you know it when you see it. All right.
Oh yeah.
So at the very best, if you just want to see some funny ass science diagrams, it's on Twitter at Science Shitpost. Now,
I'm just looking it up now.
Fair warning, this isn't necessarily a bad thing, but the person who runs the account also does a lot of charity posting for various different people who are struggling with medical bills, people who are going through surgeries, all stuff like that. So you might have to wade a little bit through some stretches of the feed. But when you find the good ones, oh my, are they good ones?
Mate, I've gone onto the account and it's like followed by loads of people that I already follow, so it's clearly a quality account.
So dude, I mean, there isn't on a podcast there isn't really a lot to describe of because this is basically a very visual medium here, but it is it's just funny. If you think it might be up your street, even if you don't think it would be, maybe just check it out, and if you get the vibe, I think it'll be worth a follow. I think you'll very much enjoy it. Oh man, there are some here that I'm just scrolling through now, which I need to forget. I need to remember that we're actually doing a podcast and should focus on the recording.
Definitely.
But yeah, it's definitely worth having a look for sure.
A while ago, I think it was probably in the iPad Pro review from a couple of years ago, or maybe it was, I don't know. I said an iPad can, it can replace a laptop. It can. You can do 95% of shit you need to do. You can do on an iPad. And that's just holding true. The question is, do you want to do it on an iPad? That is more of the problem I seem to be running into, because it's taken me longer to do stuff which doesn't take that long. When you connect it to a monitor, it has black bars either side. So it kind of goes into like the same shape as the iPad. And it feels like, when you first set up a phone or you're first setting up a bit of technology and it's like, how big would you like the text? I feel like it doesn't give you that option when you're attached to a screen. So it's just, everything feels like it's on jumbo mode.
Sure.
So it feels like I'm on like the old fogies version of the iPad.
It's like I've got all this screen real estate and I've got 8 icons up.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm like equal points impressed as I am like about it, because let's face it, if you want a computer, you should still buy a computer in my eyes. Like I can only afford a laptop or an iPad. What should I get a laptop? If I can only afford this or that, I would then argue, if you can only afford a Chromebook or an iPad, I would. That's a tougher one to choose, I would say, because they're both kind of similar. But the iPad's it's awesome, and basically I'm trying it for a week. I've got loads of shit I need to do on it for a week. Like we said before the podcast, I'm editing the whole video on the iPad too, so the video will be edited on the iPad. And that's already not much fun.
Oh man!
I've started piecing that together, and it's as good as it can be, is what I'd say.
But just to be really clear, like, is that because of the usability of it, or is that down to a processing issue, like a power issue?
No, mate, the power isn't a problem. It chops through 4K, no problem. Which is why those new M1 MacBooks and stuff are like all the rage at the moment. Is because it's using the similar stuff to the iPhone and the iPad. So the power isn't the issue. It's definitely the software. It's touch first. And when you try and do stuff with like a mouse and a keyboard and stuff, it still feels like you're kind of pushing it rather than like, oh yeah, there's the mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
It feels like, oh, you can attach that stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, it does do that. But
it technically will do that if you ask it to.
Yeah. But mate, it's just simple things like having a file browser. The iPad does have one, but it's not it's not the file browser we know and love, from like Windows or Mac. It's just not the same.
I know this is a bit maybe of an antiquated opinion on Apple products now, but I've stuck with it since Apple first started making iPhones, and even when they made laptops, you always get the impression that Apple are going, "What do you want to do that for? What do you want to know about that for?" It's that kind of, why do you, yes, fine, you have got a hard drive. What do you want to look at in it? Fine, this, your pictures? Do you want your pictures? Like, no, I want the system files. Why?
Why? You don't need that.
You don't need that. I've done it. All right. I've taken care of it for you. I've done it.
Mate, I think it is like that. There is that focus on usability. Definitely. But yeah, so far, I'm on day 3? Is it Wednesday today? Yeah, Wednesday today. Day 3, it's okay.
I'm half expecting
that's my current opinion.
To be like day 3, 19 hours, 7 minutes and 30 seconds before I can get rid of it.
Yeah, not that we're counting. But it should make for an interesting video, at least.
You see, mate, I firmly believe, I know we maybe get a few people listening to this podcast who have found you through your YouTube channel. And I do believe that they would enjoy getting a bit of behind the scenes at just how angry some of these things make you. Because that doesn't come out in the videos.
No, mate, I'll make my videos very
it's
tailored.
Ridiculous.
All the bad points, really. Mate, the amount of times I like swear in B-roll and stuff when I'm like, can't get the shot I want or something. It's like, oh, fuck off. Or like Pocky, which obviously on the channel is known and loved. If he jumps into a shot for like the 6th time, I'm like, you're gonna have to fuck off now, mate, because that's really annoying.
Dude, okay, I'm going to tell you right now, mate. Mate, we've talked about April Fool's bite review videos in the past, but just an outtakes video, censored, if you like, just get the beeps in there, but just an outtake video.
Fuck off.
I've got it out now. My final rec.
Got it out, mate. To sign off the podcast, what I will say, something I have been watching closely, is it looks like Trump won't be pardoning Joe Exotic.
What?
So
no, you know what? He shouldn't.
No. Mate, they got a limo all lined up for him, like his team outside. Like they were convinced he was going to get this pardon, and he hasn't got it.
That's a big swing,
funny.
Isn't it? That's a big swing to get
it's
a
a
limousine.
big swing and a big miss.
Oh my God! Like, don't worry, Joe. Are they coming to get me? It's like, yes, Joe. We're coming to pick you up. Don't worry, we're coming. We've got the limo.
Which is funny. All the people on Twitter are like, "Oh no, season 2." It's like Tiger King gutting.
Shame, man. What a shame. No more animal cruelty.
No, yeah, it's funny, isn't it?
Dude, I'm sorry, man. I shouldn't laugh, but the picture of his face, just as he realizes what that no pardon, no pardon for old Joe. Okay, click. Turns around and there's his mates waiting for him to get off the phone. So not getting out, Joe. No.
Yeah. No.
We shouldn't laugh at prison, but oh my God.
Pocky's back.
Dude, do you need to go off and be your own kind of Tiger King?
Yeah, right. Look.
Hello, mate. I mean, again, in our typical fashion, we've had about half an hour of chat.
Yeah. You guys are just getting the footnotes now. Me and Ben we've shot the shit. Put the world to rights.
And this is available on our Patreon site, the first half hour of the podcast, for a small monthly fee.
For a mere £25 a month, you can
I
hear.
think that's very reasonable, mate. It's the photos of you as a baby that really sell it. But
oh, God, yeah.
I mean, that was very generous of you. But
yeah, a mere, and open to anyone, Randy. Anyone with, money just flying around, don't know what to do with it. Why not get the first episode, the first 10 minutes of each podcast?
The good bits. We've got to talk about the idea of putting chips in monkeys' brains.
Yeah.
That's mental.
Mate, give us the context.
Well, he didn't actually. He didn't sort of talk too much about this. It was kind of like because I think this was when old Muskie was he was giving a talk regarding Clubhouse, which is the other thing we're going to talk about.
Sure.
And he kind of I think he got asked the question, where are you at with Neuralink? Which we've talked about on this podcast before. The idea of being the technology that Neuralink, the company, is working on to try and interface computers with brains. That's basically what it comes down to. I think the last we heard was that he'd managed to get a chip into a pig.
Yeah.
And then he said, "Oh yeah, we got chips in monkey brains. They're playing computer games." He's like, "We want to get them playing Pong against each other. That's the next step." I was like, "That's just incredible."
It's mental.
He goes, "You'd never know where the chip is, and the monkey's happy. The monkey's happy and healthy. They live a great monkey life. It's like they've just got this chip in their brain, so they can control video games."
Mate, this is horrible. But I was thinking about this. I was thinking about this earlier. I was going to say, you've obviously said Pong now, but I was like, what game do you think they're playing? Like Ape Escape, Donkey Kong. Donkey
I would
Kong
love
Country.
it if it was I was going to say if it's Donkey Kong Country, get them on the old Slur Star. That would be absolutely incredible.
That's terrible of me, but no, it's pretty incredible. Sometimes I really wonder where I lie with that. It's like, animal testing, that's pretty invasive, but if the monkey's happy and healthy,
yeah,
I don't know. It's like saying, we took someone's arm off, but he is happy and he seems good.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, not to get too much into animal testing, but I do. I think it's good that we can develop new tech to help humans.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say about it.
Yeah.
As long as the end step is we can get to help humans, then that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, putting lipstick on a pig, literally putting lipstick on a pig is weird. And I think cosmetics, that's probably not good.
It's a tough one, isn't it? Because you could argue, well, it's no different to eating them. You're just experimenting. But I don't know. That's a tricky topic for another day.
I feel like we're teetering on the edge of an abyss here, mate.
Yeah.
I mean, but look, the idea that a cybernetically enhanced monkey can play a video game, if that gets closer to me having a chip in my head, I'm all for it. Maybe it's that vaccine talking, but man, I'm all for a chip in the head at this point.
Mate, that is the 5G talking. It needs more signal. Get that chip in my head. Get me hooked up.
I bet I can sell you on it in probably one sentence.
Go on.
If me and you had chips in our head, we could record this podcast without having to set up any audio equipment.
Right. Where do I sign
Sold. Done. Mate, speaking of new services, I have an amazing new website.
Go on. I want to hear about this.
I keep just coming back to it to see what else is on there. It's called recordsetter.com.
Right.
And I'm going to get it up now because I need some examples of things to show you here. All right.
Oh my God, I'm excited.
So recordsetter.com is a website where people make videos of them setting records. Okay.
Right.
Now, not to get confused here, mate. This isn't your Guinness Book of World Records. You know, this isn't anything so official as that. I don't know who officiates these records because I think, to be honest, recordsetter.com is probably the only reference of where these records are recorded. Okay. But what makes this hilarious, I mean, some of them on there are legit.
Right.
I think Paramore's got a video on there because, was it Ain't It Fun? Their video was them trying to break as many world records in a music video. So they're on there. They're on recordsetter.com for, most world records.
Maybe that's their benchmarks. Can you do this sort of thing?
Dude. Right. Longest time to hold milk in mouth. Longest time spinning a fidget spinner on big toe.
What on earth? So these are useful records.
Oh man, absolutely. But dude, they're not even the best ones. Most table tennis ball bounces on a knife in 10 seconds while carrying a child on shoulders.
Oh man, that does not sound safe.
Dude, you can... This is what's so amazing, man. You can because the thing is, okay, I'm struggling to even know where to start on here. You can search by category. So I looked by furniture because, of course, why would you not? And we searched by decoy because we were like, what is a decoy? And there's it's hunting decoys. It's like duck decoys or rabbit decoys. This is one tiny little offshoot of the rabbit hole that you can go down here.
Blimey.
And what have we got here? Longest time balancing a hen turkey decoy on a pole on thumb.
What on earth?
Yep.
Mate, it feels like you could set a record just by making something up.
Dude,
It's
oh mate, that is 100% what it is. And the best thing is that for example, under decoys, 7 of the 8 are held by Doug McManaman. Doug McManaman.
It should be
in
Doug.
Canada. Dude, there's categories of under Star Wars, there's 3 categories: Boba Fett helmet, Darth Vader, and Stormtrooper. There's what we got here, mate: pets and animals, stuffed animals. Dude, it's difficult to describe just how weird this website is.
So are you checking it between eye appointments? You're like, right.
Oh yeah, let's see what the latest one is. But dude, it's just so it's like a car crash, man. You kind of can't look away because these people are going out of their way to hold their milk in their mouth for 23 minutes and 11.56 seconds.
Man, that's a long time.
It's just such a bizarre insight into human nature, man. It really is. Just because it's what are you doing? Why are you...
What a waste of time.
You know those... Okay, what it's like is those business-to-business promotion groups or B2B marketing where it's or groups on Facebook where it's all the local businesses in your area. And all it is a place for each business to go, hey, this is what my business does. There's no one in there looking to be a customer. There's only people in there looking to be the business that gets customers, right?
Sure.
It feels a bit like that on this site because you can you can comment, you can follow different categories. No one's following anything, mate. All it is they want to be the guy who holds the record for most juggling balls held in one hand with palm face down. That's all they want.
What does it even mean?
It doesn't. It's like, for me, this is what it's like, peak social media, where it's not even looking for the respect of the other people. It's just, I want to post something interesting to me on this site. Mate, it's so weird. It's such a weird website, but it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant.
Enough. I'm going to definitely check it out. But it feels like I could be like, longest time sitting in Tom Hitchens' chair in Tom Hitchens' house.
Yeah.
I already own that record.
Yeah. No, it really is. It really is, mate. I mean, look at this. Most car brands identified by a 2.5-year-old.
That, that really is low.
It's really bad. It's just odd. But then
that's a lowball record.
But dude, the thing is, mate, that is completely distinct from most car brand logos named by a 3-year-old.
Oh my god!
I mean, that's like, look how cool my kid is. That's what that is, dude.
Yeah,
Anyway, look. I want to just toe the line here between this being interesting content and me just getting sucked into looking at it now. Recordsetter.com. You need to check it out. It is weird. It's wonderful for about 5 minutes. And now, look, I'm going to close. Right, that's it. All those tabs are closed now. So done. Mate, we've got some quite. I mean, this is the aim of the game, I suppose. We have some quite interesting stuff to talk about today.
Excellent.
There's police involved. There's astronauts involved. Oh man, there's all your typical kids. What do you want to be when you grow up? Professions. if we had some vet news,
yeah, it is.
I'm gonna have a look. Ready? Vet. I'm not going to put vet news. Veterinary news. Oh, Vet Times. Veterinary news.
Why are you looking this up?
Well, because then we've got all of it. Right. So, here we go. Look at this. Okay, so a vet from Herefordshire, Simon Liddon, is going to undertake an epic 3,000-mile Atlantic row.
Okay.
This is on vettimes.co.uk. So, mate, so now, right, consider that all of our kiddie occupation.
All the bases done.
Maybe we can make this a regular... We're not going to make this a regular feature. But, mate, they've got vet podcasts as well. Oh, man, we better get
We're
off
in the wrong game, mate.
We don't want to do cross-promotion with them. Oh, see, the thing is, I was kind of worried that if I start looking at vet news or vet podcasts, that we'd get loads of American ex-military support groups and things, which is that's not what we're really after. Wounded heroes, that's not what you want to be when you grow up.
I'm sure we're the last people they want to hear about.
Yeah.
Anyway, did get some freelance work in, and Sam he said, what's your website link to your photo section? Because I want to, don't want them to have to go through the website to find it, even though it's quite easy to find, just get them there straight away. So I pasted sent Sam the link and just, forgot about it. There you go. And he sent me a screenshot back of, he posted the link on to this other chap who's going to look at the website. And it just says, the URL says thitchens.com/new page 1.
Ooh.
And I was like, why does it say that? And he said, I don't know, mate, it's your website. Why don't you tell me? So I went into the website, and lo and behold, my photo section has been called /new page 1 since 2018 or whatever.
Oh.
And then
dear.
Yeah, which is horribly amateur. And like, I guess I just didn't really think that much about it when I was making the pages. I just made them. And, but then I was like, I wonder what the other ones are called then, if that's new page 1. Because I've got photo. Sorry, I'm looking at my website now. I've got a photo, video, bite review, and contact. And I clicked video, and video was .com/video2.
Oh,
Bite review was fine because I hadn't enabled anything else that. And then contact was contact/3. It's just so, honestly, I kept looking back through it, and I was like, fucking hell, like this is, my website's gone on to like, someone in the industry, and it just says all this really amateur stuff. I swiftly corrected it all, which took me like 5 minutes. And then
is that how easy Squarespace is to use?
Yeah, it is very, very user
Sorry,
friendly.
mate. I'm just in the habit now of like. Sorry, go on.
And
sorry.
So I fixed it all. I texted Sam saying I fixed it, and then I thought, oh shit, and I texted Sam back saying, assuming he. Hopefully he has looked at it, because this was a few hours after, but I was like, assuming he hasn't looked at it yet, that link he clicks will no longer work.
Oh, even better. Even better. Dude,
I was laughing for so long about
icing
it.
on the cake.
Yeah, I know. It's like, I guess that's worse than it just being /new page 1. But yeah, it was really stupid, really silly. It was just, because Sam and Rachel especially are very kind of particular about those sorts of things because that's their jobs and stuff.
Yeah,
but they were absolutely rinsing me for it. I was really, really laughing.
Oh,
every
my God.
time when you've gotten over something that's funny, so I'm over it now. And then I just like think about it again and laugh again. It was the gift that kept on giving. I said to Sam, in a way, I don't mind if I don't get a job because I've been laughing so much about it. It's brought me so much joy.
You know what's going to happen is in conversations now for years to come, years down the line, it'll be like, oh yeah, we're making notes on this project. Tom, I better start a new page 1 for this,
and I'll be dead. But it's because like Sam was saying, what happened to contact 1 and 2? And I was like, I honestly don't know. But it was a great half hour of laughs. But yeah, that was my website woes. It probably doesn't sound that massive to people listening, but it was hilarious.
Do you know what this is going to be, mate? That's going to be the title of this podcast, and it's not going to mean anything to anyone. But it's going to be one of the things. It'll be like the 3 topics. It'll be like, I don't know, cops playing music / and then the actual / new page 1.
But it's all fixed now. But yeah, man, it was a real faux pas in that area, and it really made me laugh.
Oh, I bet, man.
Okay.
Oh, dude.
Those were Tom's website woes.
We could tick that off.
But yeah, that's a long overboard story about how I spent too much money on a Switch.
Even if it is like a cautionary tale of don't do this.
Just do some research.
Man. I don't know. Sometimes like the long way around has unexpected benefits. I mean, this does not sound like one of those times. Absolutely not. But sometimes.
Couldn't be any further from it.
Well, like you learn things along the way, you get more resilient, all the rest of it. But man, that's a shame. I'm glad you've got it sorted out though.
Yeah, it's all cool. It's all cool.
My name's Ben. And as always, I am joined by the far more fungible half of the podcast, Tom. How are you,
Hello.
mate?
I'm good. I don't know what fungible means.
No,
like a
mate.
non-fungible token.
I know a non-fungible token is, but I'm not going to sit here and explain it. That's for my secondary podcast.
No, yeah. If you were here for that, please shoo away.
Leave now. 10 seconds into the episode.
Avoid disappointment.
See you later. Oh man, that is mental though. I don't know anything about what's going on with that. But do you have any opinions?
I don't know enough to say, so I'll keep my uninformed mouth shut.
The only thing that I did hear, I do genuinely, I do want to do some more reading about these crypto pieces of art, because apparently they are horrendously bad for the environment. Now, I say that unqualified because I don't really know what's the science behind it, but apparently the amount of energy it takes to encrypt and to recreate them is not very good for the dolphins and the ice caps. But but there you go. Why not start with something that that we know absolutely nothing about?
Start with a confusing thing that Randy's probably like, what on earth?
Have I tuned into the right podcast? I mean, I'm used to hearing a pair of idiots, but this time they sound like real idiots.
He'll be driving his car and he'll be driving it off a cliff. This is crap. We were just talking about how it'd be nice to do the podcast face to face again because we've been Zooming it for the best part of a year now, maybe longer.
Yeah, mate, it must be around that sort of time. And to be honest, I've grown kind of comfortable with it because it means that I can maintain my distance from you without having to be in the same room, The
smelly breath.
It's all this, mate.
The bad general smell.
Just the smelly breath in particular and the bad general smell.
Just the horrid vibe you bring into the house.
It's the evil energy. Dude, it's the fact that I can't, I don't look so good under those film quality studio lights either. So, it means it takes me at least another half an hour to put another layer of foundation on my face.
Yeah, get rid of that shine. And I'm sure sorry, someone's bloody calling me. Go away.
Oh mate, no, wait, put them on.
Put them on. You're live on the show.
Hello, you called in.
What's your opinion on the Royals?
Is B-Dog on the hitch?
Yeah. B-Dog.
Right. I'm going to tell you all about Ben's scariest bedtime experience I've ever experienced, right? And you know what?
It wasn't a scary book. It was a spooky film.
I'll just keep the lights on for a little while longer. You know what? I got stung by a wasp in bed.
Oh, God.
Now, for longevity's sake, we're recording this in March. And
Yeah.
so this happened to me in February. This happened to me maybe about a week or so ago. So the colder months in the UK, in winter, arguably. And now,
Could argue.
now this is going to skirt with just being a personal anecdote that is the kind of thing you'd spend 2 minutes telling someone in the pub and move on. But now that we've got this wider audience, I want to educate people on the risks of wasps in the house during the winter, right? So I'll set the scene for you. Okay, it was a dark night, and I had laid in bed ready to go to sleep, and I was lying there with my wife. And not spoilers. We're in the same bed, and I think she was doing some Scrabble. That was it. We were looking at some Scrabble game on her phone, and I felt something just move. So we're ready for bed. We're winding down, and I felt something move on the inside of my wrist. And now the next things that happened, I'm not really sure of exactly the order that these happened in, because your reflexes kick in and kind of you move before you know you're moving. But I looked at my wrist before my visual system couldn't register what it was I was looking at through terror, right? So I saw like it was some kind. I knew it was like an insect of like a dark line body shape,
Sure.
I swatted it with the back of my hand gallantly. I'll point out over Claire onto the other side of the bed.
Nice.
As I did, I felt the whole thing clench, like grip me, and start. Well, obviously, it turns out stinging. Going for it. I was like, dude, I've never sworn so much at that time of night. so I saw this thing go fly, and I knew it had wings. It had that clatter of like this thing is a big thing with wings. Got up, gripping my arm. Like I hope I'm painting a sufficiently interesting picture for people, right? To be following along with this. I'm gripping my arm, screaming, hopped out of bed, going like, "We need to get out of bed right now because I don't know that I killed it, and I don't know what it is, and I don't know where it is, and I don't know whether it's going to do it again." So we were shuffling the sheets, like going through the inspection of bits of the bed one by one. Where did it go? It's not on the floor. Can't see it. Checking the pillows, checking inside the pillows. I was like, oh God, what if there's another one? What if there's more of them? I should point out how fresh this is at this point in my mind, in that I just felt something move on my leg and freaked out in exactly the same way. Just even bringing this to mind. So we went through, we shook off the duvets, and while we're doing this, I felt something move on the top of my foot. So this bastard had crawled under the bed, back to my side, crawled up onto my foot. I looked down. It didn't sting me again, but I kind of, this time I registered that it had a bit of orange on it. I thought it was maybe one of those bees with an orange arse, the ones that have the solid orange. So I kind of flicked it off with my foot, jittered it off. Then saw it on the floor. I saw this huge wasp, man. I mean, I'm not going to be that guy who's like, oh, you'll never guess how big it was. It was just a big wasp. All right, I'm just going to say,
you will not guess how big it was.
I'll let your imagination fill in the blanks on this one. But it was. Think how big it is. Bigger than that. All right. And then I think I might have talked to you on the podcast before about our electric racket for dealing with unwanted flying insects. Suffice to say, the wasp didn't last long. Once we'd seen it and saw it crawling around on the floor, it didn't last very long after that.
Did you get the gun?
No.
The racket?
I got the racket. And cooked it. We barbecued the wasp there and then. Now,
justice.
What's almost scariest about this is that I thought you got time off from wasps.
What, time off work?
Just time off in the year, where you don't have to worry about them. Time off,
time off work for a wasp thing.
I wish. Yeah. Why are you off? I got stung again, boss. No, dude. I legitimately thought that you'd get some months where you wouldn't have to worry about the danger of
especially
being stung by
winter.
a wasp, especially winter, right? So it turns out. So we read up on this, and this is the bit that I can inform people about. Is apparently this is relatively common. Sweet dreams, where you'll get it's only the queens. Only the queens survive into the colder months. All the rest of the drone wasps and what have you die off.
Right.
So if you're going to find one, it's going to be a big one. It's probably going to be a mean one. Around this time of year, they sometimes get confused if the house gets warm enough, and they think, oh, it must be time to get up. Time to go about my hellish business in the British countryside. But so it must have been a queen. I don't really feel guilty about disposing of it, to be honest, because
I wouldn't, especially if it had stung me.
Yeah, it must happen sometimes. I mean, I'm not the kind of person who goes out of his way going off after wasps out in the wild, as it were. But if you come into my house to sting me, it's not going to go well. It's in my bed.
Marriage bed?
In my bed. Dude, I almost had light PTSD after this, because you'd think the logical bit of your brain would go, well, look, okay, it's a queen wasp, it's fine. There's not going to be another one. And the chances of it happening again to me are vanishingly rare. But you know what? You know how long I spent checking that bed to get back in it both that night, the night after? It was in my mind the night after that. Like I say, even feeling stuff on my legs now makes me think, shit, it's another bloody wasp.
Did you go to sleep, but you could just hear the drone?
Tom, I haven't slept since. I don't remember what sleep is.
That is awful. That does sound scary as well. I'd hate that.
It was, you know what? It was the unknown. It was the fact that it came completely out of the blue. You feel like you should be safe. You should be safe in bed, man.
And what else comes to question is if a wasp can get in, what else can get in?
Oh, what is wrong with you, man? Why are you doing this to me?
If a wasp can get in some sort of smallish hole in the corner of your room, then what's to stop a false widow? Or worse.
Dude, you know what else? There's another variable that could have been worse here, which is, in a way, if it's going to sting me, I'm kind of glad it stung me on the wrist, because I'll tell you what, mate, when I go to bed, there are a lot of other exposed bits of flesh that could have been crawling around that I could have absentmindedly swatted to try and get something off.
Yeah.
That could have gone a lot worse. A lot worse.
Awful.
So man, I hope that lives up to the title of scariest bedtime experience ever, because it really was. It really was.
And it's not like a dream where it wasn't real.
It was real.
It was a real thing. That's horrible.
Yeah, so like I say, I hope everyone sleeps peacefully tonight, knowing that wasps could be in your bedroom. Anyway, ta-da. I'll take a bow on that story.
And actually, I don't know how people vlog, because I don't think I could do it. It's so awkward. I'm not even saying anything. I'm just like filming myself walking forward.
Sure.
And it's like, oh my God, I feel so like such a horrible hipster twat. And I hated it. But
dude, you just got to throw in a few. What's up, guys? It's your boy, Bite Review, doing the shopping. Here I am in the donut aisle.
Which one should I get?
Bite Review baked beans for my Bite Review belly.
But yeah, I think that better wraps it up. That was why my filming experience was a bit poo.
I'm sorry, man. All I'm picturing now is like, leave a comment on which brand of baked beans you think I should buy, or you think I'm going to buy. See if you're right by the end of the video.
They are the best. Awful.
Oh, man. Beans. I'm going to link to some of my other videos on yogurt taste tests.
Bean quality test. That is linked in the description below.
Bean on my third channel, Bean Review.
Oh. Imagine.
Yeah, okay. How are you, dude? What's going on?
Yeah, all good this end. The most exciting thing I've done is put up shelves, and that really is it.
I saw this on your Instagram, man. That's actually hell of an achievement. All by yourself?
Oh, yeah. 100%. All by myself. Yeah, I just want people to know out there that if you see those shelves on my Instagram, that they were put up by myself with no help, no outside help at all. And I could do it again, but I just don't want to.
No, I've proved myself.
Yeah,
why try harder? You know, why try again?
You should take my word for it.
What's the because did you say you picked up something special to go on those shelves?
I have. I picked up a little one of the new Xboxes, an Xbox Series S, which cool. I'm sure most people would potentially turn their noses up. My brother did. The second I mentioned it, he was like, "Oh, why would you get the crap one?" And, you know, that's a whole other kettle of fish that we could probably spend the whole podcast talking about. But I got it for a really good price with some Amazon vouchers. And, you know, it's better than my old Xbox. So there you go.
Hey, sweet.
There you go. That's as simple as it needs to be.
Mate, in these times of lockdown, that is about as exciting as life is going to get, all right? Putting up a shelf and buying a new games console.
Yeah. I've got to admit as well, it does look banging on the shelf.
Oh, So are we going to see more shelf content? Mate, that's what you should do, is pivot the YouTube channel into shelf review.
Shelf-based content.
Yeah, I really like the brackets on these ones.
Your number one stop for shelf-based content. Don't look anywhere else. Why bother?
Dude, speaking to that, man, I mean, I know we are both of the Sean. Let's call it shaved head
Shaved
variety.
appearance. Yeah.
This last weekend has been far too nice weather for having no thick mop of hair to protect your skin from the sun.
Yeah, man. I wear a hat a lot anyway, like not probably 90% of the time. But yes, no.
I think I need to get on that train, man. I need to up my.
Yeah, man. I've been mowing the lawn like a real 30-year-old, and I didn't wear my hat, and I came in. I was like, oh, I wonder if that's done me in for the old bold. I wonder if that's got the sun-kissed boldness.
Oh man, well, like I think I said to my dad when it was happening, I was like, nothing's more, a shaven head is fairly attractive. A peeling shaven head, even better. So let's really go for it. Let's really dive in.
Fighting off the ladies with that look, like, oh, I'm married. Go on, get out of here.
Pack it in. Dude, the first thing that I know you wanted to mention it's vaguely photography related. And it's probably the most confusing thing. I've never felt so confused.
All right, let's. I basically found about this because someone posted it in a group chat I was in, and I was like, what on earth? But basically, there's a Twitter account of like this Japanese motorcycle girl that had just been like, classic sort of influencer sort of pictures, me on the bike, me in front of the, big engines and all that sort of stuff. And like, you can tell the photos are a bit doctored in terms of like, she's brushed up her makeup or like smoothed out the face and that
like
sort of
a
thing, which is
filter.
Yeah, which is pretty normal. You wouldn't that's pretty average for a lot of people. Like touch up the appearance, make the nose smaller.
God forbid you ever post a photo of how you actually look online. I mean, Christ, can you imagine?
But yeah, basically and it's like it's a whole story. I guess we'll post it in the show notes if we can. But basically, someone found out that it's a bloke, basically a 50-year-old Japanese guy that had been using an app called FaceApp. I don't know if you've used it, but it was all the rage a couple of years ago when you could like flip, you could like remove your beard or like make your eyes bigger, and the main one that people like thought was like mental was like you could change your gender on it, so you could see like it would put on hair and makeup if you're a bloke and like make you look more like a female, and he had been doing that, but the way they found out that he'd been doing that was incredible because he amassed quite a big following. It's like 25k followers on Twitter. Sure. But someone noticed that he'd taken a picture in front of his bike, and in the wing mirror, you could see his actual face of this like 50-year-old of this like, middle-aged guy that likes bikes.
The thing is, though, man, it's like something out of a fucking horror movie. You're looking at this picture, and then all of a sudden there's this wizened old Japanese bloke in the mirror going, "Looking at you."
But it's funny because like the photos of the girl, or the photos that he'd been like doctoring, because he had been turns out he'd been using that face app and a bit of Photoshop, and just to make it look really real. They do look incredibly good. Like they're really good fakes. They're really, you wouldn't, if you saw the picture, you just scroll past it, you wouldn't think anything of it. Even under like heavy scrutiny, you if you knew what you're looking for, you could probably tell.
Yeah, but,
For the average Joe, you can't tell at all.
And I mean, the thing is, though, as well, like we said, especially when basically every photo that you see, even from your average person on the street, every photo is touched up.
Yeah.
Most, especially if it's someone who is paying attention to their Twitter feed, if that makes sense. It's not your idol, I'm down the shops today. If they're at whatever level, if they're trying to make a good feed, then those photos are definitely touched up.
That's it. And another thing that's interesting, because I think the article has a bit of an interview of him. He said he's been trying to amass a following for quite a long time just because he loves bikes and stuff, but never really managed to do it. But he said the second he did that face filter and posted it, he's like, I got way more likes and retweets than like I'd ever had before. So he just said he just started running with it, and just doing every photo like that and amassed this huge following, which is like really interesting to show those two aspects of it. Like, how much having a pretty face or whatever can help out in that respect.
Isn't it funny, man? Because there's almost a parallel here with when women used to have to post as men. Essentially, I say post, Christ, what have I become? They used to write books. They used to write books under pen names, and it would be, it had to be a man, or it had to be their husband's name on a scientific paper. And I know, right, I get that whole history of discrimination is a lot more serious than some Japanese guy posting as a woman instead. But just the idea that you have to be something different to succeed in a particular field. Yeah, it's weird that that's still around in some form. I know it probably is in lots of ways, but definitely. Just such an unusual branch of it.
The funny thing about it all, though, is like he didn't try and deny it. They found him out. He's like, that's what I've been doing. But then I think the problem is I've been using Google Translate to translate his tweet because it links to his Twitter where he says like, oh, I'm actually this guy. And you have to use Google Translate. And obviously it's a bit broken in terms of like its English translation. So he basically just says like, this is the real me, but I am going to keep posting as this girl version. If you don't want to follow, that's fine. If you do, then I'm going to.
Fair enough.
He's kind of like open about it. He's like, I'm not trying to convince anybody that's who I am, but I am going to keep posting like that.
That does make the most. Actually, mate, that's really smart. That makes absolute sense because the idea of a feed like that is to grow, right? I mean, you grow your followers and you grow your interaction. The only way, if it's working to grow followers, there will always be people who don't know that's the idea, and they will never know. We'll never find that out.
My like, the funny thing I would imagine thinking about it is like, imagine if a brand gets in touch, like, oh, we want to sponsor a post or whatever, and he goes to whatever event this is, and they're like, oh, where's I think the name on the profile is also a girl's name, I think.
Okay.
So they're like, oh, where's this person? And you're like, no, look.
That's me. It's like, fuck off, catfish. Where is she?
Yeah, exactly. But no, it's just a funny little thing. It just goes to show how, because the Face app filter thing is really quick. Yeah, it does it in like, I don't know, 10 seconds.
Yeah,
but it goes to show how easy it is to dupe someone on a line, I guess. But it's just a little interesting tidbit, I thought.
Did you? No, man, it is. Did you ever get into Face app when it was?
When it was all the rage, I tried it.
Yeah. I mean, because for one, it's incredible the way. I mean, it's incredible that it's AI generated as well. Yeah. Where it is literally a computer saying, okay, well, if this is what you look like now, then I've seen enough photos of old people to think that you'll look like this when you're older.
That was it, wasn't it? It was the aging thing. That was the most crazy one everyone's going for, I
know everyone had this experience, but as soon as I put myself through it, I ended up looking just like my dad. So it's weird that there might be something in it, like not predicting the future, but if we are just following a pattern, however much we want to think we're individuals, we're just following a pattern that computer can recognize and go, oh, you're pretty much going to look like this when you're older.
I guess there's so much information for it to capture, though, because there's so many pictures of people like, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 throughout the years. Like, it's probably got so many photos to digest.
And actually, mate, I mean, I think I saw someone running old high school yearbook photos through it of celebrities. Really? And, mate, it's pretty good. It's pretty accurate. Yeah, man. They come out looking exactly how they ended up looking like.
That's really good.
But
That's
did
funny.
This is completely unfounded. This is just a rumor. But didn't I hear that it was like a Russian app? Like people had some concerns about it being a bit sketchy as well.
That's it, because I think it uploads your photo to process it in the cloud and beams it back down to you, and wherever it's doing that is in Russia, and America is a little bit like, oh no.
I don't know what nefarious Russians would ever want to do with my face, but it's still a bit weird,
Yeah, I don't know. I try my best not to think about that sort of stuff because, like, where do you stop?
Yeah, sure.
But no, I know what you mean. I do remember that being a big thing. It's like, oh, it's a Russian app. Don't use it. Don't put it on your phone.
Yeah. Don't put your real name in.
Yeah.
Oh man, those were the days. Those were the days when life was just a bit simpler. We were still worrying about the Russians controlling our software.
Yeah, let's go back to that. It was better than the virus.
I'll take that. Yeah.
But yeah, that's what it was really. But it was a funny little thing, I thought.
How many?
And almost fair play to him in a way.
Man.
In a way, or sort of. Is it weird? I don't know. It worked.
It seems pretty innocent. I mean, who knows, mate? Who knows? I think one thing you can be sure of is you're going to get plenty of copycat accounts that are very weird, that are not okay.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Can I just to really descend this podcast into stuff that no one else is going to care about? Can I ask how you feel about oatmeal cookies, like oat and raisin cookies?
No, not for me. I don't eat a cookie to be healthy, mate. I want a chocolate chip. Yes, your classic, or a white chocolate chip, or even the ones with raspberries, quite nice. But if I'm picking, it's the double choc. The proper brown cookies. Don't get rid of all that oat. I'll have it if it's there. If there's nothing else, fine. But I'm not happy about it.
I used to live. When I was little, I used to live near a Sainsbury's. This is complete anecdote time. And we'd go. Me and my brother would walk down to Sainsbury's and pick up the most disgustingly chocolatey cookies that they possibly sold, with all the money we'd been given to get regular shopping. But they used to do like custard donuts as well, or donuts with like pink, creamy, jammy stuff in the middle of them. Oh man, those are the days. Or just chocolate inside, custard inside. Oh man. What a life that was before you had to worry about your metabolism.
We're turning into a food podcast like Sam and Randy's one. They just talk about food now.
Everyone just descends into food eventually. It's like, should we talk about something interesting? No. I shouldn't joke. I like their podcast, but yeah, it is. Oh man, when you just talk about food all the time, it's too hungry.
Too hungry, too delicious.
I'm ready. Come on, Ben. You can do this. Ben. You can do this. It's fine.
You've had 2 weeks off. You hit your head.
Yeah, we've had some time. I've hit my head.
You've been in a coma for 2 weeks.
Come on, Ben. You are valuable. You are a useful human being.
I was just going to say, talking of lockdown rules and that, we're about 10 days away now from being able to podcast in person. Is that right?
I think so, man. You know what? I think so. Is that the last? I can never remember whether house meeting is the last or the second to last, or I don't remember.
It's in May. I thought it was like mid-May or something.
Happy days, man.
Yeah, which is cool. So we can podcast face to face,
and the post-podcast cuddle can come back.
Yeah, hooray.
Like we did 100% of the time.
Huggles on Netflix after
spooning and Netflix.
Oh.
I don't know why. I think there's the reason I'm finding that so funny is there's just enough of me that believes that could happen.
Come on then.
Oh man. Okay. I need to get the energy. Hello. Hello. No, I'll find it. Hello, and welcome back to Interesting Things Said by Uninteresting People, where we talk about interesting things so that you don't have to.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm here.
Yay!
Just knocked your mic.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just way too excited.
But yeah, this is the first in-person podcast in a year.
More than a year?
It
must be. It must be. It's weird. I think that's why the intro was thrown out, is because I just got the nerves. I got the in-person nerves.
Make sure I look good for time. Put on the makeup.
You know what is weird, and this is a genuine thing, is over Zoom, it's weird because you haven't got the timing right, but in person you've got all the eye contact. You've got it's right back to, oh my god, we're having an actual conversation, and the millennial gene kicks in of like, oh man, can we just text this podcast instead?
Maybe, a written podcast. Oh. No, you'll be able to see every intricacy of my face when I'm like not listening. Or
I'm severely uninterested. Yeah. How are you, mate? What's been going on?
Good, really good. We went to the brand new Barnstable roller derby. Is it? No, it's like, what is it? A roller rink?
I think because did the Americans invent it, so they get to claim the pronunciation of Derby?
Yeah,
is that right? So it's like roller derby. Yeah. Anyway,
I don't know. It's the new roller rink. I'm going to call it roller rink in Barnstable. And it was loads and loads of fun. We're there for 2.5 hours, and my Apple Watch says that I burnt 1,200 calories.
Fuck me! Did you put in roller skating into the Apple Watch?
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I was sweating buckets because I was really going for it.
Yeah,
and I'd never like to blow my own trumpet, but I'm actually pretty good at roller skating.
Okay.
So there you have it.
And this is obviously skating, not blading. Like this is full on, fall to the floor. Yeah. Like, okay.
You can do the crisscross leg thing when you go in corners.
Oh, man.
You go backwards. Got it all, mate.
Dude,
do the spin.
This is a completely alien world to me because I am appalling at anything that involves standing up and moving along. I was saying to you before, like snowboarding, terrible. Skiing, awful. I tried rollerblading for a while when that was like all the rage.
Yeah.
Coupled with the fact that they don't do rollerblades in Yeti sizes, I think I always kind of struggled with that. But mate, this is completely alien to me. So mate, so is it like a social job or is it like a workout?
No masks. When you're on the rink, there's no masks. I think
Really?
Oh yeah, I guess it's because you kind of you actually need to breathe properly.
Sure, yeah.
And as much as masks don't really hinder that, if you're like really huffing and puffing, it will.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was awesome. I didn't want, like I said, I didn't want to blow my own trumpet, but I've always been quite. If you'd met me, you'd be like, no, he's going to fall over.
Yeah.
Skates are not his thing, but like rollerblading, skateboarding, skiing, snowboarding, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Just pretty good off the bat. Like, just kind of get it.
Do you know why that is? Do you have an like? What do you think is going on there?
I don't know. I think a lot of it is confidence, because I know it's going to be fun. I'm happy to give it a go. Whereas a lot of people would be like, "No, I'm going to fall over."
Sure,
and then they just like hold on to the edge the whole time round. And it's the same if you ever go like ice skating with college or school or like with family, parents, whatever.
No, I mean, ice skating. This again for me falls into the category of I am not very good at it. Or at least I don't know. Maybe I should just commit and try like a few times in a week. But ice skating, same bucket for me. No,
me and Matt used to go with Dad down to Plymouth because they have an ice skating rink. Like maybe like 3 times a year. Not often, but often enough, I think, to understand and ice is a lot more like painful than. Well, it's similar pain, I guess, to concrete or.
I was going to say it's like wet concrete. Yeah, right.
But no, I've always just been quite like, all right at it. So it was fun, and everyone was really surprised, which was funny too. Like, oh wait, you can actually do it. It's like, oh yeah.
So I mean, how did you feel about it from a being out in the world, kind of, you know, I don't want to say post-COVID, but you know, as we are opening up. Yeah, I mean, was that a thing that you were thinking about, or was it just kind of?
Not really. I guess the only thing I did think was weird was like you could take your mask off when you're on the rink, which, you know, in a way, I guess if you're huffing and puffing and sweating on a rink and people around you, you'd think that would be a way to really mix up the COVID. But they do check you when you go in. They've got like the gun and the thing. But I don't know how accurate that is for COVID. I'm surprised they don't make you do a lateral flow or something.
Yeah, sure. I mean, to be honest, for work, for day job work, going into care homes, they will temperature check you at a lot of care homes. And you know what, mate? I've been given temperatures that would have me pronounced dead because I mean, a lot of them are useless. Those little zapper kind of on the forehead guns.
What do they even do?
So if we've been out in the cold, I'll come in sort of 34, 33 degrees, and they go, "Oh yeah, you haven't got a temperature," and you go,
"You're clinically dead."
Yeah, but it's like you'd think that I wouldn't be offended if they went, "We're going to need to take that again in a minute. Like, come on in, come up to warm temperature, and we'll see what's up." No, but they don't care, man. They don't care. It's like 32, great.
Come in. I've been doing lots of not lots, but recently lots of lateral flow stuff because we've been going back to Exeter for office work, like 1 day a week. Or no, 1 day a month, sorry. And a lot of those places need you to take a lateral flow before you go in. And they're horrible. I'm sure have you done...
I do multiple times a week, mate. Yeah,
I'm still not used to it yet. You know, like the stick down the back of the throat.
Yeah.
Every time, like I can't... And like I always think, that's enough because I can't put it down anymore.
That's enough.
I'll puke it up. Yeah, and then you go to shove it up your nose and it's like... that's what the back of my throat smells like.
Oh, man, dude, don't even... don't even get started down that route. I mean, my wife had to have a full-on PCR test because she had a bit of a cough one day.
Sure.
Another one of these annoying. I think I might have said to you that this happened to her before. It's happened to her a couple of times because she's working in a school. You know, go back to work, got a bit of a tickle in the throat. You need to go home. You know, and you need to get a test done, and you need to stay at home until you. So she, so she went to have the test done, and it was not a good experience. Put it that way.
She was COVID free.
She was COVID free. She was completely COVID free. Yeah.
The lateral flows are quite cool. Like they work surprisingly quickly. I know you've got to wait 30 minutes, but it does show up pretty much straight away. Yeah. To see.
I mean,
that is the right one, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, for how much we're really not selling the experience. I mean. You can do those tests just shoving it up your nose, I mean, it's better down the throat. Sure. But what I'm getting around here is, mate, because they're trying to encourage just regular people to have it done all the time.
I got a letter through. It just said, "Do you want to do it?" I
think it's a really good idea, man. I mean, like, not that we have the biggest reach in the world with the podcast, but if anyone wants to do their bit and they want to just shove a swab up their nose, even just up your nose a couple of times a week to make sure you're free. Then yeah, man, I can recommend it.
It's quite a nice thing as well to have for a little medical thing to say you're COVID free. Because then you don't. It's nice because you don't feel bad about doing anything. It's like, well, if I'm going over here, I haven't got it.
Exactly, man. Exactly. I know we talked about this a little bit, but what
is the deal with Flight Simulator? Like, why is that so popular? It's such a bizarre, popular thing.
No, do you know? I wonder if it's like that kind of, because Microsoft Flight Simulator was a game that used to be on like old PCs, like Windows 98.
Yeah.
You get out the joystick and like you'd live out your flight dreams. I never did, but I know it's like maybe a lot of people loved it back then as like, wow, this is a big graphical showcase.
Yeah, sure.
But I mean, it is. Look,
just to pick up on that as well. You imagine back in '95, that graphical showcase would have been chef's kiss.
But mate, I think even now it's chef's kiss. It looks incredible on paper.
Yeah.
Like, and it's a real like hog. It takes a lot of power for it to look good.
Jesus.
But
each of these window panes is individually rendered.
But apparently it's incredible. I don't know. I'm not into Flight Simulator, but yeah, I remember what we were saying. The reviews are just like 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Microsoft have nailed the in-flight simulation.
That's so strange, though.
Weird.
I mean, is it? I know we mentioned this a little bit, but is it like a kind of Animal Crossing kind of thing where it's just chilled? You know, you can just sit there, zone out, and like, I've got to fly from here to Tokyo. Yeah. Off we go.
I reckon it must be. And like, I'm probably going to do this evening. I might fly to Spain.
Yeah.
I might come back on it. I might do it real time. Just for a lot.
Just for fun.
Yeah. I bet you can do it real.
Mate, of course you can.
Yeah.
Of course
Engage
you can.
Autopilot. You got your little co-pilot sitting next to you like, I'm going to get 5 hours of kit.
I mean, you take over. You do no, quick, take the stick. Because I've got a little nephew. He's 5 years old, and he loves the same nephew I was talking to you about earlier. He loves farming. He's super into it in the way that some kids are into dinosaurs and can tell you all the different dinosaur names. He is into tractors and into farming equipment, and he loves it because his dad's got Farming Simulator. For
there's a
PlayStation
for that.
Yeah, but that I can almost get a bit more because it's like a theme park kind of game. Like you got to build the farm and you do all this. And do you ever play Dungeon Keeper?
No, but I know the game. Yeah.
Where you can do like the top down strategy and then zoom into first person and kind of do it on the ground. It's like that with farming.
Mate, the thing is with those games, and it's the same with Animal Crossing, and the same with like Build Your Town or SimCity or whatever. You find that For me, that gameplay loop is really strange because you're effectively playing the same game from the start as you are, like, let's say 40 hours in, and you've got a massive city to deal with compared to like a small city. It's like the game hasn't changed. Like you're doing the same things. Your gains are bigger rather than smaller.
Yeah, sure.
You've still got the same amount of stuff to do, but just in different areas.
Mate, you're just making imaginary numbers go up on a screen. That's all it is. While you sit there waiting for the inevitable embrace of death.
I guess it's I guess it's no different from like a first-person shooter. You're just shooting different things at different times.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that maybe the sense of satisfaction is the same.
Yeah.
You know, when you're like pulling the trigger, God, it's gone dark. When you're pulling the trigger over
you really get to know a man. You know, when
you really get to see him. See him.
But dude, this is the thing. I mean, not to rag on games like that too much because I've played games that aren't necessarily designed to be like that. But you kind of, if you play games for long enough, you start to zone out.
Yeah.
You know, and you start to get that feeling of I am just doing this so that my brain can be defragging in the background. You know, from the day or from whatever.
Animal Crossing all over.
Sure, yeah,
sort of thing. Just like on autopilot, but still weirdly enjoying it.
I'm kind of talking myself into Flight Simulator. Talking about being literally on autopilot.
Mate, you could have it on the screen right now.
Is that a dare?
You've got double screen. I could be on the right. You could be on the left.
Like co-pilot. Mate, flying the same plane, right?
Yeah. Next time I come in the little like shirt and tie, and the little captain's hat, and I'll bring my Xbox game headset.
And we could sit side by side, literally, so we have to turn to look at each other to talk.
It'd be perfect.
The last thing we're going to talk about is Inside.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
Bo Burnham's new comedy special.
We've almost spent too much time on the Blink thing.
Oh, man.
Cut it out.
Cut it, yeah. Okay, right. Moving on. Professional podcasting. I heard this special described as the best comedy special that I never want to watch again. Mm-hmm. Tom, is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, I think I would watch it again, though. I feel like you'd get more and more out of it each time. It's one of those, like, ages like a fine wine sort of thing. I bet there's so many little things I missed.
Sure.
Because it's like that. I guess for people out there that don't know what it is, it would have been on your Netflix because it's like the only thing they're pushing right now.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, comedy. It's hard to explain what it is.
It's almost like, well, I mean, okay, so Bo Burnham is a comedian.
Musical comedian.
Yeah, kind of does a lot of, I don't want to say parody songs, but funny songs.
Funny songs, yeah.
Yeah, but not silly funny a lot of the time. Like he's got quite a serious...
The Truth Hurts funny.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, like society funny kind of
you're
thing.
addicted to your phone. Ha ha.
Yeah, exactly.
Funny,
yeah, exactly. And it's special that he made... It's all a one-man thing, made, recorded, filmed, edited, all of it.
Yeah.
Through lockdown.
Yeah.
In his house.
Took him a year.
Yeah.
On his own. So that's the concept, isn't it? He's going to do a new comedy special on his own in a room, no crew, no cast, just him. And that's what he does.
And it's kind of weird the way it's cut together. It's almost like a variety show where it's a lot of fast cuts between different bits.
Do you know, it reminded me, in a way, I felt quite comfortable watching it because it reminded me of YouTube. It felt like a long YouTube video.
Yeah, okay.
In the best possible way, not in like a detrimental way. Like, it felt like that. It's just funny, like this is a really geeky thing, but at the very start, he's like shooting himself in the mirror. He's like, I don't know what this is going to be. It might be a bit weird.
Yeah.
The camera he's using is a Panasonic S1H, which is the lowest camera you can get for Netflix. That's Netflix accepted.
Okay.
It's a really nice camera. It's like, I think it's about $3,000. Panasonic make really nice video cameras, but it's still classed as a DSLR base or a mirrorless camera. It's still for stills, but it does video too.
Yeah, okay.
But this is the lowest level of video they'll take as to be accepted.
Okay.
If you're going to make something for Netflix, and it is notoriously terrible autofocus. Panasonic cameras are.
Right.
At the start, he's there like for ages. He's like pointing it and he's like grabbing the lens and getting it in.
And trying to, sure.
He's got a tape measure at one point. Which is like a classic thing to do if you can't rely on autofocus.
Yeah.
It's like, it's far away, so the focus needs to be like that.
Yeah.
So that made me chuckle. A little film geek, I was like, ha.
But it's
Panasonic, good luck.
I mean, part of one of the aspects of the appeal of it is that it is very homemade. I mean, obviously he's got money for budget,
sure,
but it's when you see him like figuring out how to light the room to get effects that in the finished product that maybe you've watched 10 minutes ago, because some of it's very jumbled up.
Yeah.
But you've seen that shot and it lasts for like literally a second.
Yeah.
And he's there figuring out like, right, this bulb here, no, get the hue right, I really like that aspect of it.
It's super cool.
But it felt very lonely. I know that's probably half the point of it, but it really captured that kind of lockdown. What am I going to do? I've got nothing, no one to interact with. All I've got is my own thoughts.
It reminded me of, I don't know if you remember this, is really long ago. There's a guy called the Fully Sick Rapper. Have you heard of that? He was basically a guy caught some sort of disease and he was stuck in a hospital room in Australia. Couldn't leave. He had to be isolated for like 180 days.
Oh, wow.
A really long time.
No, I don't know about this.
To pass the time, he started rapping about what has happened to him and all that sort of stuff. He's really terrible at rapping, but they're like funny rap songs.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
I'm locked in here and I've got nothing to do, and he just shows all his like friends he's made out of tins and stuff.
Cool.
It reminded me of that because he legally couldn't leave. He's like, you are too sick.
Wow.
But he wasn't like sick on death's door. He was like, I'm feeling okay today, like a odd virus that, I guess could have been awful if it came.
Yeah.
He got over it, he's fine.
Well, I mean, dude, with Bo Burnham stuff, how much of that, because there's a lot of it in between where he is feeling down.
Yeah.
Where it almost, I don't know, it almost sounds cynical saying that he's looking like he's feeling down, or he's, I don't want to say acting it up, but he's demonstrating how bad he's feeling about being locked down.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he's had issues like that in the past.
He's anxiety stuff.
Yeah. I mean, do you think any bit of that was made up for this? Not made up like it wasn't affecting him, but staged. That's the word. Do you think any of it was?
I think he had the space to not stage it, because if he was on his own for all that time, all he have to do is turn it on.
Yeah.
But, there's some like compositional things which makes me think perhaps it was staged. Like, despite like filming it all himself, he has directed like a film in the past or something.
Yeah.
So you can see that in some of the frames. Some of the shots, like there's one where he's like pretending to box or something. It's like this like orange light on him. It looks incredible. I was like, holy crap, he shot that on his own. Like he does know what he's doing. Yeah. Because if you didn't know what you're doing, you wouldn't be able to do that. It's like he knows lights and he knows how to make things look good. But yes, a lot of those ones where he's saying, I'm feeling really down, he's looking off to the side of the frame and there's like nothing there. And I think it's kind of like a metaphor for like, there's nothing here but me sort of thing.
Yeah, sure.
So I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. I mean,
I'd like to think he didn't, but
I don't think it makes it any less effective.
No.
I know that sounds really cynical, and I probably feel really bad if I ever actually spoke to him. I was like, no, that's how I was really feeling.
Yeah,
fine, because it could be. Because it could be. Yeah. It, like I say, it doesn't lessen the impact of it.
No, mate, it's great because it's so. I was saying to Kate, it was like it's hard to describe how the flow of it. Like I was saying to at the start, like the first 20 minutes didn't land for us at all. Like,
sure,
he did that song with the sock, and I was like, is this shit? Like, what have we turned on? Sort of thing. And like, Callie was on her phone. I was like, it's not a good sign.
Sure.
Like, the attention has gone.
Yeah.
There's lots of things like that. But I think it was like what made us like die, like literally we're both laughing for so long, is when he reacts to himself.
Yeah, sure.
He reacts to
Yeah.
himself and it goes on and on and on. And it's become so confusing to listen to.
Yeah.
We're both in tears, like dying to that. And that's when it finally solidifies, like, no, this is amazing.
Yeah, like he does get it. Yeah.
It's so funny. And the white woman Instagram.
Dude, that was a highlight, man. Highlight. I mean,
perfect.
I probably had 3 bits that stood out for me. One is the opening song.
Yeah.
Because that is a genuine banger. Call me up and I'll tell you a joke.
Yeah.
Mate, that is a legitimate song. The white woman's Instagram is, like I was saying, with setting everything up for a 1 second shot.
Yeah.
I think you get a lot more of the kind of making of that later in the special. That's where a lot of that comes from. But then the Welcome to the Internet song towards the end.
I've listened to that so many times.
It's so good.
It's brilliant. Someone, I don't know if you've scrolled the comments, I think one of the top comments is, and it's so perfect comment, is like, this song sounds like it came from a villain who won, but won fairly.
Yeah.
Because he's like, when it breaks down towards the end, he has that kind of laugh.
Yeah.
Like it was always part of the plan to put the world in your hands sort of thing. Like, no, this has been the plan all along. You've always been able to look up anything you want.
Yeah.
Now you're addicted. Now you're completely in service to it.
Yeah.
You did it all yourself.
And man, it's really effective at making you think about, like, oh shit, that is my life, or like that's part of my life, Oh, it's so like some of the commentary that he makes in the songs is so effective.
Yeah, mate. Some of the things, like especially with the white woman Instagram, is probably the perfect example. Is like a lot of that stuff I avoid anyway. Like Facebook, I've got it, but I've seldom go on it.
Sure, yeah.
And I've got Instagram, but I don't. My personal one, I post on it so rarely. I very rarely scroll that feed.
Yeah,
but I scroll the bite review one a lot, and that, like I've said in videos and stuff before, like that's only full of stuff I want to follow.
Yeah.
So I don't compare my life to other people's. I think I skip on a lot of that stuff because, like, a lot of people always compare themselves to others, like, oh, they're having so much fun, they've got life,
sure.
I'm crap, I've got nothing, sort of thing. I feel lucky because I never see that, and I never think, oh.
Yeah.
So that's good for me. But we looked up a few people that I know after watching that white one on Instagram, and it was just spam. It is, and I think the thing that's nice about it in the song, even the whole song, he kind of alludes to, like, and I think I've spoken to your brother potentially about this, is like, sometimes I wish I could be happy with just that. Some people post, like, here's a picture of me and my mum, my friends, my, going to job, like, Friday, yay, sort of thing, like, and looking forward to, and then back to the 9 to 5, but that's my life and I love it. In a way, I envy that, because, like, your brain never ticks over in the evenings and the bedtimes and, like, thinking about what to do and make, and I can't sit there and anymore. I used to be able to. I can't do the 9 to 5 job thing anymore because it would make me mad. Yeah, like I don't want to do that. I want to be making or doing something else. Yeah, I think that's a bit of a weird curse with being, quote unquote creative. Dude,
100%, mate. I know. I don't. And you know what? I don't even have a lot to add to it. I think you're exactly right. Yeah, it is really difficult. And you know what? Sometimes I would love to be like that. Like exactly like you say, just to be able to go, well, I don't have to worry about anything. I'm not working on anything. I'm not trying to make anything the best it can be. Don't care. Like you say, on Instagram, here's me having my lunch. Done. And that's the end of it.
And mate, the thing is, even when, like, if me and Kay sit and watching something, like, I'll get itchy if I have an idea to write something down, I'll get a laptop and I end up spending like an hour on it.
Yeah.
So, well, I kind of wish I didn't do that, but I love doing that. I like doing that. I don't want to give that up, but in a way, I wish I could just pack that away and not think about it.
Yeah. And it's like, I need to do this to get to that next bit.
And I do envy people that have that. Like when you leave a job and you sign off.
Yeah.
You've signed off. There's nothing to think about. Like
it's the dream.
Callie has that in a way, and she can just completely work's gone. Why would I think about work? I'm not at work.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
I don't have that. I don't want that, but I kind of do want that. But I'm thinking that to come all the way back round to it, you kind of alludes to that's fine.
Yeah.
And in a way, if that's what people want, then that's absolutely okay.
Yeah.
I think I watched a Inside Explained. There's so many of them now. Some of them are really great. There's one bit in that White Woman Instagram where, because it's all in a square to represent Instagram, right? So the whole thing's filmed like that. And there's one part when he talks about a lot of girls talk about their mum that have passed away or something, but the frame slowly opens and it opens to a full cinematic 16:9 because I think in this commentary saying they're finally showing some emotion of who they actually are, and then the second it just closes back off, it's like, here's my food, here's my
it's the
27 balloon thing, which is like sad and just another interesting commentary.
That is really interesting. I mean, it's what
Could be wrong. It's just someone's
but it's obviously deliberate. I mean, like you say, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
he knows enough what he's doing to make that a deliberate choice and to have some meaning there for it or some direction for it.
Yeah,
but I think that's maybe what because I would definitely recommend it. I mean, if that's not clear enough, I would definitely recommend people to watch it.
And if you are feeling a bit weird of it in the first 20 minutes, that's fine.
Yeah,
just keep pushing on and it.
Just stick with it,
it does,
because it's not supposed to make you be laughing all the time. That's not what it's for. But it's what I like about it. I think is that it's because it's a one-man thing. It's almost like very much a passion project.
Yeah,
because I've got friends like this who have similar sort of skill sets who, if you locked them in a room for a year and went, just make something, they would make something that was absolutely brilliant. Because you've got that much time to be, I mean, dude, in a year, what does it matter if you go, I need a specific light? It's going to take 2 weeks to arrive. Fine, I'll order it and it'll be here eventually.
Do that shoot next week or whatever.
Yeah, and I'll get that one shot, or I've got hours to figure out the exact choreography with the lights to make sure I'm making it look how it needs to look. Because, I mean, dude, there's so many different woven threads together. I mean, there's the songwriting, which is legitimately good.
Excellent, yeah.
The performance, the kind of, not just the musical performance, but the acting performance as well, in the bits that are him needing to be visually, acting, what have you. But even the kind of homemade, improvised setups to create effects, the creativity of some of it is really good.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I think there's one was the start where he's got like a lamp on his head and he puts a disco ball and it goes boom and it opens up. I was like, holy where did that come from?
It's my favourite kind of thing, man, where you're looking at something going, what is that? Is that just it? With the light on, is that okay, that looks weird, that's a cool kind of setup. And then you have like the reveal where, like you say, like he points at the disco ball and you go, I get it. And it was there all along,
Mate, one of my favourite lighting things he does is in the Turning 30 song, he kind of holds a light. Funnily enough, it's one of the lights I have. So it's just a cheapo, amateur thing. Turns it on, he just rotates it around his body and, you get the shadow all around the thing and it's great.
Yeah.
So where do you even come up with an idea like that? But again, like you said, he's got all that time. He'd probably have a week spare to just go on YouTube and think, lighting effects.
Yeah.
And that would be great.
I think even if you don't find it funny, even if you don't find it affecting, if you don't find it interesting, if you're not interested in what he's doing from an art point of view at all, but you're interested in filmmaking, I would say it's worth watching it just for that, for composition and lighting and just how to put together something that looks captivating. That's what it is. It's visually interesting from start to finish.
It's super. Agreed. It's like his tour de force of all of his talent poured into one thing, isn't it? It just looks incredible.
Yeah.
The I was going to say, even the Welcome to the Internet song, where it's just like the lights he turns on and off at certain times. The great thing is you see him point the remote.
Yeah, exactly.
And the lights come on. That's the little things like that.
Like this is how it's made.
That. How else would he do it unless he put it on his foot or something? But he just think, no, that's my own. That's how I'm going to do it.
I want you to see this as well. There's no secret here.
Very awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Dude, I don't think I have a lot more to say about it, but I'm into it.
Yeah, Matt, I honestly think I'd watch it. I think I would watch it again. I might take a break
Yeah, sure.
And come back to it. But I just thought it was,
just generally all round.
Yeah, it's great. It's the sort of thing where the more you think about it, the more you're like, oh, maybe that's why. Oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool. To be fair, mate, even a year, which sounds like a long time to make something like that, isn't. I bet the time went quite quickly for him in places. Not all the time, but I bet in places where it's like, I need to get this song done by next week to stay on task.
Yeah, sure.
I bet there are a few crunch moments like, holy crap. No, I need to go.
I need to actually work now. Yeah.
But yeah, I bet there's some weeks where you're just like not getting much done. And if you've got no one to bounce an idea off, that can be hell.
Yeah, and it can turn out crap sometimes.
Yeah, it can.
But luckily not here. Yeah.
Well, we're not seeing all the stuff he shot he didn't put in. I'm sure there's loads of stuff he edited.
I bet, man, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
That really would be interesting, actually.
The one last thing before we stop talking about it was the Twitch stream of himself. Really made me laugh.
Yeah.
That was fun.
I guess I'll cry again.
Yeah, mate, the little addition of thanks for the 4 months up.
Yeah.
Touches like
thanks
that.
for the 4 months. I appreciate it.
Yeah, really funny. Like, and he obviously gets it, sort of thing. It hasn't been written by a bunch of people in every month.
Yeah, sure.
Bit that would be funny. Like, no, he's obviously watched it in the past.
Yeah.
But no, it's great.
You know what? Right.
We're back to cinema.
This maybe
That's another thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay. Dude, we could definitely get on that.
She just sprung into my mind.
We could definitely get on that. See, I have this really weird thing now. Do you watch Great British Bake Off?
Yeah, not like the celebrity stuff though. Only the
main timeline, the main storyline.
Fancy one where the chefs go and do it.
No, sure. Okay.
I'm not interested in that.
Well, I have this weird thing because one time we accidentally watched it with audio descriptions for the sight impaired.
Right.
And
the whole episode?
Well, no, we just for the intro. So it says like, a child is touching some bread, an egg is cracked into a bowl, and some raspberries are placed on a cake. Like he's describing what's going on. Oh. Now I cannot watch it. Every single episode since then, I've recreated that
in your brain
at least, and it's almost like become a kind of OCD thing, and like not clinical, but I have to do it up to the point where the egg is cracked into the bowl, and then I can stop.
If you don't, do you have to like go out the room, take
turn around? Yeah, no, man, yeah, no, dude, it's I don't know why. You know, those sort of things that you start doing as a joke.
Yeah, you can't help it,
and then you it just keeps coming on.
We used to take the piss out of people that say like "goad" and "ode" and stuff, but now we do it all the time.
Yeah.
Like, only with certain people that know we're doing it as a joke.
Sure.
But even when I say it, I have to force myself to not go like, "Oh, that's really ode." Like, I'd be like, "That's old."
I got me goad folder. Got me ode goad folder.
Really think about it.
We should probably address the fact that we haven't recorded in a couple of weeks longer than we would do normally.
Yeah.
But I could not talk properly for the last for about a week or so.
Yeah.
Because I had that bloody cyst removed from my lip.
Oh, tell us about the cyst.
Yeah, which I don't know. I'll tell you a little bit about it. It was an amazing experience. It really was. It wasn't serious. I mean, you know, I'm not dying. It wasn't anything nasty that you would find, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had this little lump on my top lip, which was just annoying. It was aggravating.
Sure.
Yeah, dude. And I don't know whether I managed to get bumped up an NHS queue somewhere or something, but I managed to get it off pretty quickly for the fact that it's not dangerous, you know.
Yeah, sure.
I haven't had an operation in a while, and man, it was almost sadistically fun, to be honest. It was you know, I mean, you've seen like Dr. Pimple Popper, that sort of stuff, where it's like getting the big. They didn't. So the surgeon said to me, "I don't believe in lucky or unlucky surgeons." He goes, "There's good surgeons." He goes, "And good surgeons could get this out in one piece, you know, without it breaking, and going everywhere." So to speak. I'm sorry if anyone's listening to this while they're eating their lunch, but it wasn't too gross. So I was almost hoping it would be like a burst it and, you know,
here it comes.
Get the full effect kind of thing. But no, he pulled it out like an absolute champion. And so, but it was like a big pea. I would say it was about the size of a big pea.
Weird.
Like a big pink pea. But because of the way they cut it out like I cut a circle out of skin, and then just went down, you know, went into the skin and got it and pulled it out, you know, cut it, snipped it away and pulled it out. So it had like, when he showed me the cyst afterwards, it had like a bit of skin still on it, with moustache hairs on it. So it looked like this thing it was wearing a wig, so it had like a little haircut. Oh man!
Did you have to shave? Did you go in clean shaven?
No, dude, he snipped a few mustache hairs. You know, he kind of snipped it away with his little scissors.
No way.
But no, man, I didn't have to shave.
Man, I thought they'd be like, well, you have a clean shave because it would just be easier.
No, he was ready. He was game for it. He was like, "Oh, I might have to snip it a little bit, but don't worry, I can deal with this. Don't worry, I'm a pro."
Nice, man. That's cool.
But yeah, it was. No, dude, it was it was actually a really fun experience.
How long did it take?
Oh, the procedure like 20 minutes.
That's not massively long.
Yeah, it was very, very quick. Bit of injection to keep things numb. Yeah, and then just
where'd they inject you in the lip, like right on
inside my lip, which was probably the most unpleasant bit of the whole process.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's like when you have like a tooth out or something, and they jab you like 3 or 4 times in the gums. Yeah, it's like, do you know what? This is probably the most painful part of the whole thing. Oh, dude, don't.
I told him a story about when I went to the dentist when I was little. Actually, to pass the time while we went to anesthetic to work. Because this was terrifying. I wonder if this has stayed with me. When I was little, I had about 5 or so teeth out at the same time, like in one go. Because it was something to do with growing, like I had too many teeth or whatever, or like dog's teeth or shark's teeth or whatever it was. And so I had to have 5 all at the same time. So they put me out. So they knocked me out to remove these teeth. And so they gave me the gas and air. Put the gas on my nose. I was like, and I remember I was maybe about 8 years old, but I remember thinking to myself, "Come on, Ben, just relax." And I was saying, I wasn't too nervous, but I was like, "Come on, don't worry, just keep breathing. It'll be done." I remember really clearly thinking this. So I closed my eyes, thinking, "Okay, I'll just close my eyes and let the gas work." I'm not going to fight. I'm gonna be compliant. I closed my eyes, and about 5 seconds later, I heard them going, "Okay, he's out. Let's get started."
Oh, no.
So I fired my eyes back over and go, "No, I'm not out. I'm not out yet."
No, he's still here.
For a split second, I was worried they were going to start just yanking teeth out while I was still awake.
Pass me the drill, please. Let's get started. Yeah. Oh man, that's horrible. Oh, he's not out yet.
I've had better experiences of anaesthetic for mouth procedures. But no, dude, he said to me, he was quite open about it. He was like, "Dude, you're going to have a very sore lip for a few days."
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay, well, I can deal with it." And it was, to be fair, I had some ointment and stuff on it, but it was all stitched up and what have you. But gosh, you don't realise how much you move and stretch your top lip until you can't.
Oh man, I can imagine. Yeah. I can imagine.
And it was that horrible kind of like creeping up on you pain. Like this is when because I saw you in IRL in real life. Yeah.
You did.
And I said, I can talk, but I couldn't talk for a long time. I'd talk for 20 minutes and my lip would just suddenly be like, "Oh God, that's really painful."
But it's all okay now. Good.
It's fine now, mate. Yeah, tippity top. I've got to go in for a checkup, but I've got to start like grabbing it and kind of squeezing it. He said to like break up the connective tissue inside to make sure, to just eliminate, it building like a hard kind of bit of tissue.
How weird.
Yeah, man. But hey, it's what can I say? It's kept me going.
Yeah,
it's given me something interesting to do in my life. Man,
I think when you touched on having operations as a kid, having operations as a kid is so much easier than when you're an adult. Because when you're a kid, you don't really understand. Like, we're going to put you under now, and you've had operations in the past, haven't you? Like pretty full-on ones. And how old are you when you had your? Was it the
my chest operation? Yeah, dude. I was year 10.
Yeah, so man, you're old enough to like.
Yeah.
I mean, 15's still pretty young, but still old enough to really understand what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But like, I think I had my tonsils out when I was like 6, and like I couldn't remember it if you told me to. I vaguely remember the hospital room and stuff. But I think I told you this when I saw you not too long ago. When I had my nose operated on, like 3 years ago or something. I was hyper aware, mid-20s. Like, I know exactly what, here's your bed, and like, this is probably where you'll be for the whole night. Like, I hate this already.
Oh no, dude.
Yeah.
Your imagination improves when you get older as well. It's like, well, I'm thinking of all the things that could happen.
Yeah. It's
how
horrible.
much this is going to suck.
Yeah. You just, like I said, when they put the stuff in your arm to make you go to sleep, you just feel it go up.
Yeah.
I almost remember that sensation of it kind of hitting my brain, and then that's it, lights out sort of thing. Like, and then a second later you wake up, some guy saying, "Are you okay?" It's like, this is like a film or something.
This is the worst hangover I've ever had.
Yeah. So, I feel like shit.
I found out something quite recently. I don't know whether this is still accurate knowledge, so forgive me if it isn't, and this isn't medical advice, but apparently we don't really know how local anaesthetics work.
That's horrifying news.
Like if you break it down, like we know they work, and we know what compounds work, we know how much to give people, we know how to do it, as safely as possible and all the rest of it. But if you break it down chemically, we're not really sure. I don't think so anyway. I'm prepared to be proved wrong on this. I'd like to be proved wrong because it's not a very competent thought.
Wrong. Yeah, I don't like that.
It does start to make you think, we'll just inject this into your arm, see what this does. Yeah. Oh, is he out or is he dead?
Yeah. Mate, it's milky as well. It looks like milk that goes into...
I know, it's so unpleasant, man. Of all the things that you want shooting into your veins, it's like, oh,
it's just some milk. Like, that's somehow worse.
I wonder what that stuff's like when it's outside of the syringe. I mean, is it thick? Is it
like a goop?
Maybe I don't want to know.
No.
Maybe I really don't want to know, but it's hopefully no more operations on the cards for a while.
Ever, if possible.
See, there's that, because that's the other thing as well about growing up, right? Now that you've said it, I know, mate, we're spending so long on this, but it's not really the most interesting thing in the world. But, I don't remember any anxiety about me having like a general anaesthetic when I was a kid.
Sure.
Maybe my parents hid it from me, but I don't remember me being anxious. I don't remember the doctors being particularly anxious. I don't remember my mum and dad didn't act anxious. Either they were very good at kind of keeping it, under wraps.
Yeah.
But I don't remember it being tense. But now, it's not that many years before I'm going to be 40, right? Yeah. And it feels like once you pass 40, if you're having a general anaesthetic, you have your loved ones there waiting for you to wake up. Like, oh God, I hope he's going to be okay. Do you know what I mean? I wonder is that a thing? Like, the older you get, the more people are worried that you're just not going to wake up from a general anaesthetic.
I guess as you get older, it just gets more risky.
I must do.
Like, just in general terms, not because you're weaker or anything, but just like, inside, your insides aren't quite as strong as they used to be.
Yeah, I suppose.
So this is going to be more taxing on you than it ever has been in your life.
Oh God! and this is the easiest it's ever going to be again.
Yeah.
Cool. No. Cool. Great. Yeah. I'll get down with that.
Mate, anyway, hospitals aside,
yeah, it's been quite a good couple of weeks, really.
Mate, I've got to tell you about this PC build I did. We've got to move away from Marvel.
Do. Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's okay, everyone. If you were outside waiting while we finish talking about Marvel stuff, then you can come back in now.
I won't spend too long on this, but I just want to tell you about the pain points. Because have you built a PC in the past?
No, dude, I haven't. I've never built one from scratch. No,
right.
No.
It's the sort of thing for building a PC for people that don't build a PC, don't know how. It's one of those things which sounds quite technical. It's like, build a PC. Like, how on earth would you start? But it's kind of like Lego. You can't.
Okay.
Everything goes in a certain place. You can't really get it wrong. So it's not as hard as it seems. There are some, like, if you were like putting it on a scale, you'd put it on intermediate. Yeah, it's not easy, but it's not tricky. If you spend enough time with it, you figure it out. And the amount of guides online is ridiculous.
Well, dude, all I know about building PCs is that the hardest part is first getting cast in The Witcher, and then getting super buff, taking your shirt off, and making a captivating video while you do it.
And mate, you have to be buff.
Yeah. So how did you manage that?
Well, what I did, there's this great CG program which a body replacer. Building a PC can be quite. And if you're building in a standard PC case, which is quite big, you've got lots of space to do it, and it's not too tricky. So I was building in what's called a mini ITX case, which are tiny, like absolutely tiny cases, and everything you buy for it is extra small. Small motherboard, small everything, small power supply, small graphics card usually, and all that sort of stuff. And I built a PC in my time, built a couple of PCs, I know how to do it and all that sort of thing. Right. It was possibly the hardest thing I've done in ages.
Oh, jeez, really?
My technical grasp of building PCs and knowing my way around it was pushed to the absolute limit. I was like having to Google things relatively consistency, and you knowing what to do, but like how on earth do you do it? And like, problem is with most PC builds, you don't have to really follow a strict set of rules. You can kind of build it. There's a few things you need to do at the start, but you can build it how you want. But ITX is very like, do this, then do that, otherwise it won't fit. and
Yeah,
it's
sure.
all that sort of stuff. Anyway, long story aside, I had to get my brother to help me, like, literally just hold things together and, like, can you plug that in while I hold this in place? Sort of, you know, things like that. And in fairness, he's built a few PCs. He knows what he's doing. So it's really useful. But, you know, build the PC, fine, done. Thank God, sort of thing. Took a long time, but got it all together. Managed to close up the sides. That's a big victory.
Yeah.
And then
it all goes in.
so you install Windows 10 off a USB stick at the moment, a USB. So you just like boot from USB. Relatively easy thing to do. I've done a lot of that in the past with Mac updates and stuff. And the PC just wouldn't. It would get to the Windows screen and it would just crash. I'm like, wow, no.
Oh God, yeah.
Basically, to cut a really long story short, I had to flash the motherboard BIOS, which is potentially the most technical thing I've really ever had to do, because there's no specific guide online, because basically the BIOS is what you go into if you want to like overclock your this or change your computer so it does that or whatever.
So when you talk about flashing it, so what are you doing?
Yeah, so dude, imagine the BIOS. Imagine, you know, when you see like people hacking into the system and it's all text, that's the BIOS. That is what you see, and it kind of pops up like that. But so basically I had to update the BIOS by flashing it, which basically means on the back of the motherboard there's a little memory stick slot that says BIOS flash. You have to get another memory stick. Thank God my old PC was still together. I had to download a BIOS flash from MSI, put that onto my memory stick, format the memory stick in a really specific, weird way. So not just like a normal USB. I had to rename loads of files, put the BIOS on there, put it into the computer. But the problem is because the computer's got no connection to anything, you put it in and you have to hold a button. And that sort of shit feels like, what am I doing?
I'm going into the Matrix.
Yeah, definitely. So I left it going. It's like BIOS update, take about 20 minutes. I was like, oh my God, let's just hope it works. Went downstairs, came back up, and it was like, BIOS updated. It was like, oh my God, it's worked. And then I was finally able to install Windows 10. But I forgot to tell you as well, when I was building it, I was using a water cooler, which they're relatively easy to put on. It's like a fan that uses water. But it has to attach to your motherboard, like really specifically. So you get a back plate for your motherboard to basically, I'm doing some very poor podcasting here, but if the motherboard's in the middle, your back plate holds it on. So it's like a sandwich, and your motherboard's in the middle. And the back plate that came with my cooler didn't fit my motherboard. And the cooler back plate you get with the motherboard doesn't fit all coolers. And there's nothing online to suggest that would happen. Right. So I just didn't use one. So I just bolted it on a bit willy-nilly. It's working. It seems to be working fine. You know, it's cooling and it's working. But that wasn't a nice thing to do. And that's the sort of thing that would stunt a lot of people. And actually, I've made a video about it. In the video, I've actually cut this out because I didn't want it to be a somber end to the video. I just said, this will be the last PC I ever build, because it's not, I like it. I love the payoff. But I was like, the more I use my PC, the more I'm using it for video editing, the less I'm using it for gaming. And like the ending scene was me going, at the end of the day, I think I just want a computer that works. And I think that computer has been staring me in the face for the longest time. And I just hold up my Mac. Yeah. Because it's true. Like, you know, the amount, you can't customize it. You can't do anything with it, but it fucking works out the box and it works well. Yeah. And you don't need to touch it, and it looks good. Because half the reason I did it was for it to look like really nice. You can't really see it too well there. But it's like,
it does look very pretty, man. That coral sort of top on it is very nice. It's
a super nice look, and like, bless IQNX who sent it out to me, because I just reached out to him. I was like, that's a nice case. Can I have one? And they're like, and they just said and then they also bundled in a mechanical keyboard in the same matching colour, which is super nice of them.
Yeah, that's very cool.
But they'll get a sick video out of it. A sick video, man. But, yeah, mate. So put it in perspective. I started building that PC at 9:30 in the morning. I finished building that PC, like up and running, Windows installed, at 11:10 p.m.
Oh, so God!
You know, it was a long day. There was a lot of like, why am I doing this? There was a lot of stress and not. I was just like, why?
In terms of cost, I mean, are we talking that's going to cost more or less or about the same?
The problem is it's hard to compare PC and Mac now, because now Mac's going over to M1 and like all their ARM chips. You can't really compare them because the M1 stuff is so far ahead. in terms of what it's trying to do.
Yeah.
You can't. But, if you're going on old school stuff, so say Intel Macs from a couple of years ago, that upgrade cost me about 900 quid. And to get that style of thing in a Mac would cost you like $3,000. So
Jeez, okay.
It's loads cheaper. But again, you've got to build it yourself. You've got to know what you're doing. You've got to know how to work through the issues. There's no warranty or anything or any customer support. It's all from different companies. You've got to know what you're doing to a point. And it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't take too long to figure how to. If you can Google Linus Tech Tips PC build, you can build a PC pretty much. A bit of confidence and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
mate,
sure.
it's a Ryzen. It's like an 8-core processor, Ryzen with 32 gigabytes of RAM, all M2 SSDs. So it starts up and boots like in a fucking flash. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And Premiere Pro, which I use for video editing, absolutely crushes it, which is great.
Okay.
And that's what I wanted it for. And it's a nice upgrade. So I said at the end, I was like, this ain't going to change for years now. I'm not going to touch it.
I hope you like this PC because it's going to be a long time before a new one.
Well, mate, I just can't, realistically, I think this will be the end of building a PC. In 4 or 5 years' time, when it's maybe getting a bit long in the tooth, it'd be like, let's get a nice Mac desktop and be done with it.
Sure.
And it's sad in a way because I like building. I like when the experience is good. Building a PC is like a lot of fun, and you feel like, as lame as it sounds, it feels like you kind of your knowledge levels up massively. It's like, wow, I get it now. Like when you land a new trick on something, or you like, I know how to do that now. I don't need to look it up. So that's a nice feeling. But otherwise, it was like I said, it was hell on earth, I would say, for that day.
Oh, Jesus. It's like there's sometimes in life where you want things to be easy.
Yeah.
And sometimes where you think, I can take a bit of challenge here.
Yeah.
It's when they come at the wrong times.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? When you want something to be easy and it turns out to be an absolute ball ache. That's never fun.
Horrible. And I had video editing jobs to do, which I can do on my Mac, my MacBook Pro, but it's not as nice as a desktop PC to sit down and get your work done. So I was kind of like, I need this tomorrow. So I want it to be done today.
Oh, dude, that's no fun, man. That's no fun.
It's all good.
So not something you would recommend.
Not unless you're like really into it. Or if you're building a regular PC in like a standard case, it's easy. It's a lot easier.
So it was really nice. But Ludlow's supposed to be a gourmet foodie town, right? So we thought, brilliant. We're in for a treat here. We're gonna have a nice time.
Yeah.
It actually happened to be our anniversary while we were away as well.
Right. Even more excuse to go out for a meal.
Exactly right. Yeah. Right. Claire booked a restaurant, and I don't start it like that. She is in no way at fault for what happened next. I want to get that on the record because the restaurant looked right up our street. It's a nice little tapas bar.
Sounds great.
We're into that, and all the reviews say, the chef went to Spain to train. He was great. Knows his stuff, imports ingredients from Spain, like cheeses and meats and things. I was like, oh, amazing. Great, this sounds really, really great,
Sign me up.
They say they have live music in there sometimes, brilliant, great.
Sure.
Perfect spot for a bit of anniversary mealing, Dude, it was the most fucking awful experience that we have ever had. And it got to the point where it was like being on safari.
Right.
So we just kind of had to sit back and be like, oh my God, this is how this is going down. I'm gonna try.
So did stuff happen to you specifically, or was it happening around you?
All of it. All of it. It was us, and it was the surrounding tables as well.
Let's go.
So, okay, I'm going to try and keep this podcast interesting enough for this.
Sure. Mate, everyone wants to hear about bad experiences.
Well, we walked in. We'll do the whistle stop tour. Walked in, young lad behind the bar. Sure. Seemed like a nice guy. Was going, we were booked in for 7:30. He went, and I actually said to him, I started to sound like my dad. I actually said to him, that's a lot of ums. Like, where do you want us to sit? And he's like, I don't know. We've had a really bad day. I'm like, okay, cool. Where do you want us to sit? And literally, I'm going to show you. Man. He could have touched the table that they had free for us just by reaching over the bar like that, right?
So
it was there. Fun. It was right fucking there. It took the waitress coming over and going, oh yeah, don't worry, here you go. Yep, table of 2, there's the name. Yep, here you go, get on there.
Sure.
Bear in mind for the rest of this story that guy did not move from behind the bar throughout the rest of the evening. He just stood there kind of staring into space. Don't think I even saw him make a drink.
Sure.
So that's where he is. 20 minutes later, we get brought some... No, sorry, about 15 minutes later, we get brought some menus.
Well, it's already a long wait.
That's pretty... I mean, dropping menus off is the easiest thing in the world, right?
Well,
It's
a lot of places have the menus on the table.
You would think, man, wouldn't you? That'd be handy, wouldn't it? You could save yourself a job.
Yeah.
I should say this was a small place. There was already in there was another table of 2, table of 3, table of 4, and us. That's it. That's all the people that were in the restaurant.
And that's full.
That's pretty full. It's a small place. There's an upstairs, but this was a pretty full place. And so, after another 5 minutes, Claire and I have looked at the menus. We've gone, well, we know what's up. We know what we want. We're going to have this much
20
food.
minutes in?
So 20 minutes in, the waitress comes over and says, and takes the food order.
Sure.
And I speak a fair bit of Spanish, I would say pretty fluent, And I already have a bit of a problem with not making myself sound ridiculous to English people by pronouncing things in a Spanish way, because you get so used to learning Spanish pronunciation that you have to make a real conscious effort not to just look like a dickhead when I'm looking at like patatas bravas, and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
But so I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But I am saying to her, I'd like, for example, patatas bravas, please.
Yeah.
She goes, and so I'm then pointing at the menu like someone who doesn't want to say it out loud in like a foreign restaurant, or, going, this one, the spicy potatoes, yeah, cool. It's like, yeah, that's right.
Fine, all forgivable in a way if you don't know. I mean, you should know.
I mean, you know your menu though, right? That's what my main beef was with this, is that she seems to have been there a while and now. So anyway, I can't get bogged down in any one of these details because they're all baffling.
Yeah.
Then she said, "Oh, do you want some drinks?" I said, "Oh yeah, what non-alcoholic stuff have you got?" She went, maybe some non-alcoholic spirits. I'm like, okay, yeah, cool.
Oh.
But then she goes, "What did you have in mind?" I'm like, well, it doesn't really fucking matter. Sorry, there's a lot of, I can feel a lot of swearing coming in this podcast.
The rage is coming back.
It doesn't really matter what I had in mind. In the nicest possible way. It's what you've got, not what I want.
Should you be like, we've got this non-alcoholic beer and these mocktails and Sprite, Fanta, Coke, whatever.
So I'm like, the Coke's fine. Honestly, I'm already like, this is going to take too much time. And Coke is honestly fine. So the Coke and a lime and soda come out, and it's grubby. I'm not enough that we sent it back, but when glass is just on, like,
they haven't quite been cleaned. I was worried you were going to say they brought out the 2-litre bottle of Coke from behind the thing and just poured it in. The multi-pack,
I would not have been surprised.
Multi-pack not to be resold.
Dude, don't. I should tell you as well that this took a long time for those drinks to get here.
Sure.
For the fact that it's just 2 soft drinks, The table next to us, meanwhile, the table of 4, are saying to the third member of our crew, this old, fairly portly, very seemingly dazed and kind of confused old fella who's wandering around the restaurant wearing a coral pink polo neck versus the black shirt and whatever. So we're thinking, maybe he's like the chef's husband. I think in hindsight that's what it was.
Right.
But he's now on his 5th attempt to bring the table of 4 another bottle of the Rioja that they'd already had. So it wasn't a different wine. They're like, we just want another bottle of this Rioja, please. And they're like, no, that's a white. We'd like the red. Another white comes to say, it's like, no, we want the red, the same Rioja. We want.
It sounds like they've all been on drugs or something before you got there,
dude. It was insane. So then we wait. Then we settle in, and I said to the waitress, we get some bread as well, for the table, just to keep us going. She's like, normally people have this bread in it to tide them over. I'm like, yeah, that's cool.
Fine, whatever.
Let's do that.
Give me some fucking food.
Yeah, please just bring us something. So then we sit and wait, and then we start hearing, we start clocking there's another table of 2 similar to us, but they're like us 10 minutes ago, and they still haven't got any drinks, and they still haven't got any food, I'm like, oh man. And this is when we start looking at each other like, this is going to be one of those nights where, nothing is going to go right tonight. This is going to be one of those nights,
sure.
So a bit more time goes, we have some more drinks, and then, I don't know, maybe this is just me, then the waitress says, she's very friendly, she's making jokes with the other table, and she's telling them how they can't keep any staff and how she wouldn't want to work here, It's like, she wouldn't want to work here. She works there, she doesn't want to work there. So then she says to her, she goes, sorry about the delay, I'm so sorry about the delay. You've picked the wrong time to come in. I'm like,
What, dinner time?
dinner time? Yeah, exactly. Well, we kind of went, we booked this for at least a couple of weeks. I think Claire booked it maybe 4 weeks because we
Yeah.
knew we were coming. We're like, we want to go somewhere, like on our anniversary, we'll book in a table.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, sorry. I'm sorry that we've arrived with a booking
Yeah.
and you've known we were coming.
Wow.
But I don't know why that got my goat quite so much.
Did you
'cause-
ask her why you say that?
Dude, no. No, we just kind of went, ha, 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 ha. Mate, this all ends with very little confrontation and just a kind of, oh my God, that it's like, you ever see Father Ted,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
episode where he kicks Bishop Brennan up the arse?
Yeah, yeah.
And the bishop's so surprised that he
just doesn't believe it,
He
yeah.
doesn't believe it. It's like we got slapped in the face with a wet fish. Like, I can't really
Yeah,
process what's happening around us. So anyway, so we wait for some more food. Another table behind us is starting to loudly complain, like, "Oh, this is a bit shit, isn't it?" You know, the other table of two are like, "Excuse me, you know, how long is it going to be for our food? Because we have got to go. Like, we've got plans, kind of thing." "Oh, well, you know, your food's ready to be plated up. If you leave now, you can leave now if you want, but it's just going to sit up there, almost like a kind of." Well, take it or leave it, you fucking idiot. You know, like, do you want it or not, kind of thing.
Sure.
So, still no bread. Still no bread.
Still no bread at this point.
About 20 minutes later, so about 40 minutes after we arrived, 20 minutes after taking the order, maybe a bit longer, the waitress brings out a couple of little plates and goes, "I'll put these here because your food is going in the oven now.
Right.
It's ready to go." Meanwhile, the fucking table next to us, table 4, have finished their meal, and I've asked for seconds. I've asked for like, "Oh, can we now get some more food?" And their fucking food has shown up. And baskets of bread coming out to them. I almost was like, I would have been making jokes to the staff if they ever fucking walked past our table at anything less than Mach 3.
Yeah.
You know, like zoom, off you. And, you know, you brought them their bread. Where's our fucking bread? So, eventually, I'm sorry, man. I want to apologise to any listeners who. This is like how we celebrate 50 episodes of this podcast. He's getting fucking angry at a restaurant. So then, eventually, the food arrives, and the greasy old guy brings it. And I'm like, I said to him, we're expecting some bread.
Yeah. Where is it?
Where? Yeah. That's crazy. I'm like, where's it? And he goes, "Oh, yeah, the bread's coming as well." I'm like, no, I was expecting some bread to before this point where you bring the food out. Come on, Ben. Calm down. You can do it. You can do it. This dude had the longest thumbnails I've ever seen, and
that's never a
they
good
were
sign.
coal miner black. Like, I mean, we looked at some TripAdvisor reviews afterwards.
Yeah.
With a fresh eye on them, you know, digging out the bad ones. And they're clearly describing the same people. And one of them, on one night, described him as having defecated himself. I was like, you know what? That's probably not far from the truth. Just bless, you know, this dude was not in a good way. There was no other reason he was working there than that he was married to one of the staff. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of this.
Yeah.
So anyway, they bring the food out. And it is painfully average. Like, to coin a phrase, it's very mediocre. It's fine and it's safe. You know?
Taco Lounge.
No, Taco Lounge is better. It's better. 100%. No, this is like someone has gone, "Oh, tapas. Yeah, how hard can it be? Chorizo chopped up and fried. Yeah, fine, that can be one of them." And as it turned out,
I meant the Taco Lounge tapas. I mean, as a whole, I like Taco Lounge.
Even you ain't got to defend the Taco Lounge, but even
they might be listening.
But even the tapas, man, this was like something that someone who's never made tapas before would make at home for like a fun night. You know,
Hello Fresh tapas.
Version. Yeah, maybe.
Sure.
Yeah, like a delivery of tapas ingredients. Yeah. And dude, so it was fine. You know, and me and Claire, our bar for enjoyment is very low because I think we
have too much to impress us. Yeah,
because generally we can laugh at things.
And mate, I'm the same.
Right.
You laugh it off, we'll pay, we'll never come back, fine.
Exactly. Sure. It was like being on safari. It really was.
Yeah.
So we're you know, we're doing this, and I'm doing this with my hands. I don't know why. We're eating the food. It's fine. It's okay.
Yeah.
And of course the bread comes out with it. But the chef, man, I forgot this amazing bit. The chef, a woman comes down, hands her. She's got long, very decorated fingernails. I'm like, ugh. In a kitchen, I'm not sure that's what I want to. Yeah. Maybe it's perfectly fine. It might be, but they were thick like acrylic nails. I'm like, I don't want to see that. No, I don't know. For some reason, it rings alarm bells to me.
Yeah. Especially food.
She goes, "I'm sorry about the bread. We gave it to the young lad, and he was supposed to bring it down." Now, I have a personal bugbear with anyone in like a business throwing someone else under the bus.
Sure, yeah.
Because just to customers, man, it's not a
trying
good
to prove,
look.
yeah, just like, sorry about that.
It's like,
we should have done it better.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Second thought about this is, where the fuck did you think that bread had gone? Do you think he'd shoved it up his arse? Like, who got that bread? Where you
the bread doesn't exist at this point.
Yeah. It's like, did you notice it was still upstairs, or did you think it should have been downstairs when, Anyway, so we eat this food, and then we're like, do you want any desserts? No, thank you. Just the bill, please. The bill. I should mention that every interaction here is taking like a good 5 minutes in between, because they just don't. When people make themselves available to be stopped?
Yeah, they kind of
they kind of sort of. Yeah. These are like the people who don't want to be. They're like zoom straight past.
Sure.
Eventually, we go, can we get the book? We go. And I went to the loo. The loo's fine. Well, no, the loo wasn't fine, but this isn't where the story goes.
We're not talking about the loo.
We're not talking about the loo today. The loo was fine. It was like a home loo that hadn't been cleaned in weeks. It was dusty, it was grimy. It wasn't... Anyway, that's not the fun. I got back, and afterwards, Claire told me what had happened while I went to the loo. She goes, the old fella had sidled up to her, like, not up to her, like not in her personal space, because the table would have prevented the personal space, thing. But kind of came over and went, oh, try and still have a good night. Try not to let it ruin your night. How's the food? And Claire was like, well, yeah, honestly, the food was fine. It was okay. You're not going to leave a complaint like table 2, are you?
Fucking hell.
And I'm like, and Claire told me this afterwards. Now. Yeah, dude, Claire said this afterwards. I'm like, I don't know what's worse. The kind of almost like not a threat, but like a coercion of like, hey, you better not kind of thing. This guy was in no way a threat. I shouldn't paint it like that.
Yeah.
But it was like that. It was like that kind of snidey sort of, you're not going to do what those idiots did.
You're not as stupid as
But what got me was that he waited until I fucked off. That's what pissed me off.
Weird.
Because, I hadn't been angry at him, but I'd been firm. Like when he said about the bread, he was like, oh, bread and olives, yeah? And I went, no, come back, no olives. Yeah. So I've already had a bit of a firm word. So, and the bastards waited until like the big scary man has left, and I'll just sidle up to the weak woman, and I'll have a word and make sure that this goes. So afterwards, we're like, all right, start licking that pencil nib for the fucking TripAdvisor. Dude, it was like being on safari, and like I say, me and Claire, we laughed stuff off. And that's, we kind of let it slide.
Sure.
We're very thick-skinned at stuff like this. It's like, oh, yeah, this is dog shit. But
at least
whatever, man.
Fun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, at least we can laugh about it. No harm, no foul. Though, I really try to be objective about this. Obviously, there's no tip going on.
Oh,
but
God, no.
But the food, I'm like, you've charged the food, fine. The food was fine. We'll pay for the food. Because I'm not that guy. Maybe I should be. I'm not that guy who goes, well, the service was shit, so I want to pay half price for these.
You don't need to say anything, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, fine.
The same.
We've had the food. We'll pay you for the food. It's fine. But, oh, man, I'm not going to name them on the podcast, but if you look up tapas restaurants in Ludlow, you probably, I think you probably can't go too far wrong. But yeah, man, I don't even know how long of a fucking story that's been, to be honest. And I apologise for ranting about it. Oh, we were there for a good long while. We ate, but the thing is, we ate quick as well.
Man, I'm a quick eater at the best. A regular thing, but if I was there, I'd probably destroy it in like minutes.
It was that unspoken agreement of let's just eat and go. Let's just leave now.
Just hold your nose, pour it in.
Yeah. Oh, man.
It sucks.
We even left.
McDonald's on the way home?
Dude, we don't, because Claire made that exact joke. She was saying it wasn't my... We passed the takeaway, and she was like, should we just go there on the way home and get some like
actual
kebab?
Food?
Yeah. Dude, we left, and we were genuinely worried that we were going to get sick.
I'd be scared you weren't being followed. Flashes of pink in in the rear view mirror on the way home.
Oh, dude, don't. That guy, man.
I wouldn't like that feeling either, because if you start feeling like, oh, maybe I'll get sick, then you might convince yourself you are sick.
Yeah, sure, exactly.
Yeah.
That dude's
not good.
We're so on the same. That's why I started saying to Claire, I was like, I can't keep talking about the food, or else I'll start feeling like it's done me dirty.
Yeah.
But dude, this is something that we could. I mean, we've got stuff that we were going to talk about. But maybe this is worth talking about. It's because it's the problem with TripAdvisor. TripAdvisor, these reviews that Claire saw that were like, it's got 4.5 stars on TripAdvisor.
Yeah.
And I know there's fake reviews. Looking back at them, they've definitely got fake reviews.
Yeah.
But they changed hands 2 years ago.
Oh, really?
And all the bollocks reviews are since then. Before then, even I reckon they've even kept the same website because it's talking about local ingredients, real passion for the food.
Yeah,
like the chef who trained in Spain, and regularly visits Spain. Such a love for Spanish tapas right here in Ludlow. How can that be allowed to happen on TripAdvisor?
Yeah,
it's so bad,
man. This is the problem. I think the problem translates to like apps as well. Have you been on like Google Play or the Apple Store or whatever and seen any apps that now have bad reviews? You basically can't.
Yeah,
they're all like a 3.5 or over, all of them.
Yeah,
it's because they pay they go on Fiverr and get some person to rate them 80 times at 5 stars. Loads of different pre-programmed comments or something.
I wouldn't be surprised, man. That makes sense. I wonder, am I too cynical to think that? I mean, it's in Google's interest, say, or it's in Apple's interest to have people downloading as many apps as possible. So they would almost kind of just suppress the negative reviews a little bit, maybe massage it a little bit.
Maybe. It wouldn't be considering all the shit that happens from privacy and stuff. That would probably be the least thing they would do, but who knows?
That's like we might as well, an aside kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. But man, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, no, man. I think I'm spent. I think I'm spent on all my rage now about everything that happened. But the rest of the trip was good, thanks. Yeah,
good. I mean, the worst thing about a bad experience there as well is because there's the dynamic of two of you there. It's like, well, who's gonna say something, or should we say anything? And it just makes the whole thing a bit more not awkward, but we should say
there's another layer.
Yeah, we should say something. Oh, I'm not going to say anything. We should.
Don't you say anything. Yeah, all right.
Say something then. Yeah, and it's just oh, and then when you come over and say something, it's always overly polite. Oh, if it wasn't too much trouble,
if it's not too much trouble, you can take your balls off my plate, please.
Please.
But it's funny though, because I sent, like I said, we went to that wedding and we got an Uber in and out of London from sort of West London into Central London. And on the way home, I was joking with my brother. I sent him a text because they stayed at the wedding. We left a bit early because we weren't drinking. And I left the Uber driver a 5-star review.
Yeah.
Even though it smelt like he'd been eating pepperami and Monster, and burping it up. That kind of kind of college gross burpee. You know what I mean.
I'm teaching some of those kids. I know exactly
right.
What I mean.
Yeah. And so I sent a text to my brother saying, I think an Uber driver would literally have to shit in my mouth to get any less than 5 stars.
Yeah, man. This is the truth. Yeah, the same with every Uber I've taken in London. It's always been 4 stars. Sorry, 5 stars. Yeah, always. Yeah, even if they're I don't know, don't say a word.
Yeah.
Yes, very good.
Have you seen, I don't know when the last time you used Uber was, because I should, for context.
A long time ago now.
We should say that around where we live, there are no Uber drivers.
We only just got running water, so there's no Uber down here.
But yeah, they've added a feature that might be really old. You can select temperature control and you can select chat level when you book the ride.
Oh, what, for them to...
So you go, I want the car to be very cold, kind of cold, warm, medium,
I want to
whatever.
go into a blizzard, please.
Yeah. But then it's got the chat level. It's like, are you up for a chat or not? Or silence.
I guess that's kind of good in a way, because if you just want to get somewhere and you've got shit to do, you're on the phone or whatever, no, I don't want to talk to you.
Dude, but it's it's one step closer to a fully automated robotic ride, right?
Yeah.
Uber Robo,
Well, mate, honestly, a few decades' time it will be like that, won't it?
100%.
And it will just be an Uber branded car with a weird... on Total Recall, where it's the
Johnny Cab.
Johnny Cab.
Yeah,
just be like
man, that'd be amazing.
It literally will. But no, I in a way, I guess it removes all the awkwardness from it.
I suppose so. Yeah.
Because if you don't want to talk, you probably aren't confident enough to say, "Please stop talking."
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And then if you don't want to talk, but you are confident enough to say it makes them feel like shit. Shut up, man.
None of this.
Drive. Stop talking.
I've been better, honestly. I've been better. I know we talked about this offline, but
I've got to pretend like I don't know. Oh,
yeah.
no.
Oh, man. Oh, I've got the sword of Damocles hanging over my head with a COVID PCR test from this morning.
Oh,
because, I mean, long story short, the guy that I work with has tested positive. And I work in a van with him. So I'll be interested. I feel fine. But obviously doing the responsible thing and getting checked out.
You look riddled with it.
Thanks.
I know it's a webcam, but you look riddled.
It's just the stress.
Yeah, I can see it.
I've got the vacant filter on the old Zoom cam, but that's also why we're doing this remotely, I guess, too.
It is. We are doing it remotely today.
So that's why the sound isolation is infinitely better.
Yeah, that's why you can't catch COVID through a microphone. But we're putting that to the test today.
Yeah, and it's not like that electric virus from Red Dwarf. Do you ever see that?
Yeah. Dude, I've seen way too much Red Dwarf.
Where Rimmer goes nuts and starts wearing the gingham dress, with Mr. Flibble. Yeah,
Mr. Flibble didn't like that.
I'm not far from feeling like that, to be honest, because it's just from the stress of the last couple of days.
You should draw a little H on your head.
Yeah, probably. Next time you see me, I will, mate. I will. But yeah, dude, it's crazy, isn't it? Because I mean, not to dive into COVID talk, but like with Kevin is the guy's name that I work with. His daughter tested positive on a lateral flow at school. This is where all this started. So that's why he got PCR tested. But then her PCR test came back negative. So did his wife's. But his is positive. So it's like, well, what's going on? Is it just a coincidence? And he happened to have it? Yeah, he's absorbed it from her. Yeah.
Yeah. It does make you wonder. Yeah. So he's obviously got it from either somewhere else.
Yeah. Maybe he's got it from me, and it's just a coincidence.
Yeah, maybe you've got it.
I mean, I'm
You're
prepared
the source.
to believe. Oh, Jesus, man.
You're patient zero, you are.
Oh, Christ. The thing is, the trouble is that you get all the placebo symptoms.
Yeah.
So it's
I'm dead.
oh, I need to make sure I'm okay. And immediately you think, that throat is a bit scratchy, I do feel
hot, yeah.
I do feel warm, yeah.
You're right, I can't concentrate on anything today.
That's just me, dude. I mean, that's the millennial curse, isn't it? I woke up this morning feeling like I didn't want to get out of bed and like I didn't really have much energy for any social interactions.
Yes, welcome to life.
So the shitty thing is, I say shitty, it is there for a reason. Even if I'm negative, at the moment I am fully vaccinated, Mm-hmm. So I got the message come through because he listed me as a contact saying, hey, you need to fill out this form because you are listed as a contact. I filled out the form and it said, you don't need to self-isolate because you've had your vaccine, you're fine. You can just go about your business. Yeah. The trouble is I can't work. And neither can he. I mean, the point is, obviously, he can't either, and I'm not working without him. So, I mean, even if I come back negative, I'm kind of just in my own little mini lockdown for no, for no reason, but for
the reason's there, but it's a slim one.
It's a very slim one, yeah. So mate, I'm back in the well of, I did some grouting today.
Mate, the old lockdown tasks are coming back out.
It's amazing how quickly you slip back into that like attitude. Go, right, well, that job's needed doing for a few days. That needs doing. I'm thinking of buying 2 tons of gravel, mate.
Oh my God.
I had a friend send me a gravel catalogue the other day. Literally, I'm not even joking. I don't know what's happened to my life. And
what was the gravel catalogue called?
I can't remember. It's like a supply. It's a supplier's catalogue. I said because I had to text him and say he works for a builder's merchant, and he is just to give him a little bit of an anonymous shout out. This mate, if he knows who he is an absolute legend with hooking me up with building materials. Yeah. But I sent him a text on a couple of nights ago saying, mate, random question, but I need to choose what gravel to put on my drive. Is there any like catalogue? Within about half an hour, I had a PDF of a fully fledged gravel catalogue in my inbox. So I was like, oh mate. That's wasn't expecting something like that.
The Graveler's Bible. Gravel Times.
Gravel Times. Oh,
Gravel
man.
Weekly.
Yeah. So that's my life for the next few days.
Mate, in a way, I feel a bit jealous because I never had like the lockdown experience everyone else did. Like I was working for the whole thing, so nothing changed for me. So it's like I just work, but now I am working from home. So I was never furloughed, never had all this time. And everyone's like, I started in lockdown. I'm like, you had time off in lockdown, you lucky bastard.
I guess everyone had kind of a different experience though, wasn't it? Because there's other people who were, I mean, maybe in America more so, but in this country as well, people who literally have not worked for almost pushing a couple of years. Like, well, no, maybe a year and a half, isn't it, at this point?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I say, I'm not envious in the fact that I want time off from work, but envious because a lot of people had time to start something totally new.
I guess
Yeah,
I did.
yeah.
I did leave teaching in COVID, so I did change my life up considerably.
Yeah.
But it's a funny one. Whenever people say, "Oh, it's a lockdown thing," I'm like, "What's that?"
What's that? Yeah, dude. But I mean, I don't know. I wonder if. Okay, so I think everyone who went down through lockdown of any kind, I think you come out different anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
At least a little bit. Do you know what I mean? It's got to affect you. I was speaking to my dad earlier about how you kind of turn off or you forget the things you used to do when you were able to. You talk about making the real conscious decision to say, right, I want to go out and do this, or I want to go out and have a coffee, or go out and have a meal, or do anything.
Definitely, mate. I think the thing that's been affected most is just people coming over. Because that you were like, yeah, of course, come over, but now, because everyone's mind's like, you shouldn't do that, even though you can now. At least you can here in the UK. It's still not. That still hasn't come back round.
It feels taboo, doesn't it?
Yeah, me and Kelly were saying the other day, we haven't had people over in months, like literally months, and we can.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Oh, I'm well aware. Yeah. It's funny though. It's funny because now, of course, for the last 6 months, my phone's been reminding me of things that happened a year ago.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus, did that really happen a year ago?
I can't believe how quick it went.
Yeah, sure.
It was really quick.
But dude, I have this weird theory that it's not, because you know how sometimes time is weird and sometimes things feel further away than they were. Sometimes they feel really close. They feel like the last, at times wibbly wobbly and it stretches and all the rest of it. I feel like through lockdown, time sort of just overlapped, like everything happened at the same time. In my mind, the way my mind sorted it now is that, everything, every day of that lockdown took place at the same time.
Yeah.
Nothing felt long way away. Nothing felt more recent.
Mate, and I think this kind of goes back. We're talking off podcast just about old bands and listening to music again, like that you guys used to make. And like, that's something I like and dislike about making music, especially, is there's such a timestamp on it that it's hard to not feel sad you're not in that time, but also, like, it makes you like, what happened to that? I don't know if you get the same, but it's like when I was listening to, your album from 2008, and it's like, I was listening to that mainly when I was living at home with my mum, in the old house before we moved to the newer house. And it's like, wow, what a weird little time capsule. And sometimes putting such a stamp on a date on something makes me feel like queasy about how quick time is going. It's like, I don't know if you used to get it at school. You used to pick up an old maths book or something and you'd see like 2004 in it and you're in 2007. It's like, wow, that went quick.
Yeah.
How have I not filled this book up by now? Or like, just dating things in general, like, I don't know, gives me the heebie-jeebies sometimes.
No, dude, it does, mate. No, you're right, man. I don't know if this is interesting for anyone to listen, but you're 100% right. Sorry, that wasn't a dig. I'm thinking about what I'm about to say. I'm not sure if this is going to be interesting for anyone. But it is, man. And you're right about that kind of queasy feeling. I've never put it into words, but you're 100% right. It's got to be a word. It's that kind of that uneasy sort of gut clench a little bit where you think, man, like, how do we get from there to here?
Yeah, and it's like how, like I say, it's just such a timestamp, because when you, especially with music, because when you listen back to what you made then, it's like, we're saying off podcast, but it's like a certain smell or a certain feeling just comes straight back, and it's like, wow, I used to think about that all the time, and now I never ever think about it.
Well, and it's relationships. It's relationships with people and with yourself as well. Like, I mean, even if, it could be someone that you recorded with that you haven't seen since, or it's been years since you've spoken to them, like the relationship's changed. It could be that it's someone that you still see, but it's like mourning the relationship that you used to have when you were younger, naturally, that you just used to be two college kids, who cared about completely different things. But maybe it's like mourning who you were. Yeah, you think, because you recognize, like, I was a different person who did that. I was a different person who recorded that, who wrote that, or who thought those things, or what have you.
It's crazy, isn't it? Because I as much as I think that, I don't ever think I wish I could go back. No, I don't have that feeling. I just have the feeling that it's kind of sad that that's over. But I wouldn't, if someone said, "Do you want to go back and do that again?" I'd be like, "Oh no." Yeah, because I wouldn't do that now.
It's like recognizing the doors that have shut.
in a perfectly normal way. Like, not any major opportunities missed, but just I've shut the door on that part of my life now.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, dude, it's crazy to think of.
The thing that made me think about that mainly was I listened back to the two child singles we put out, and they're 2017. So that's like it's like almost going to push 5 years ago soon. It's like, buddy, it didn't feel like that long ago, but it was.
Yeah, sure. Man, that is crazy. But do you feel grateful, pardon me, that you have, sorry, I just burped in the middle of a sentence there. Do you feel grateful that you have that kind of time capsule in a way that someone else might not, you know, who hasn't made things like that?
Yeah, in a way, definitely, because it is a nice reminder, you know, if I get to the ripe old age of 90, which you never know, especially as being a man, it's quite rare to reach that age nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely.
As we do.
Yeah.
But, you know, if I could listen back to it then, I think I'd be like, fill you with such joy in a way.
Yeah,
I think because I'm too close to it now to be like, you know, emotional about it.
It's not that, really. Yeah, sure, I get it. Yeah.
But no, I like I say, I'm glad I managed to get it off Jared. If Jared is listening, which I think he does sometimes, thank you for sending me the old demos and stuff. I was explaining to Ben that Jared's a bit of a time capsule for any local music. If you want it, he's got it. Put your request in. He's got it all on that massive music hard drive of his.
See, there is something satisfying about that now, isn't there?
I mean, you guarantee
he'll look at a vault.
Guarantee he'll have the album artwork for all of it too.
Yeah,
attached,
sure.
Ready to go.
Oh man, we should set him up a little website business, dude. I was flicking back through. I was clearing out some books, and I found I own the 5th edition of the Great Rock Discography. Right, this is. I didn't.
We're not talking about gravel, are we?
No, not gravel this time.
Good.
No, mate, dude. You know what? This episode has set me up to look like a real dweeb. Like, this is all I own. This is all I own is like fish posters and gravel catalogs.
Yeah.
No, dude. It's because I've had it sat on the bookcase for a long time.
Yeah.
Never really looked through it. It was one of these things that I bought. I think it came out in '99. I want to say.
Yeah.
So the oldest I would be 15 when this came out. So I was in college. I thought it was just a cool thing to spend my money on, you know, and I would idly flick through it. I have a newfound appreciation for it now, opening it up, right, for a couple of different reasons. The first one is that I recognise a lot more of the acts now because some of them are so alternative and so obscure as well, like so very, very niche, you know, some of them. But the other thing is this was pre-Wikipedia.
Right.
But every entry for every band is so full and knowledgeable of that band's history. Like, it's even down to the catalogue numbers of every release for them, UK and US. But it's not even. But the thing is, it's written by one guy.
Yeah.
And the entries aren't boring and robotic. They aren't like a kind of vanilla. They formed at this time. They went. They did this. They released. He's got some kind of like opinion in there. They are like they've got like his take on what happened. You know, the unusual choice to rejoin with guitarist after he got off and done this. You know,
the opinion being thrown in.
Yeah, he's got. But dude, this book. I'm going to try and describe it. It's A4 size, and it is maybe 4 inches, 5 inches thick. Sure. It's a big book, man. It's full up.
Is it like the cross-section book? Do you remember those when you were a kid?
No. What's that?
Do you know? Oh, right. It's something we used to have a lot. We used to have them at school. It was like, I can't believe I'm explaining this on a podcast. The cross-section book. So it would be like the cross-section of like really big infrastructure, like a train. It would like cut it in half. That's what the picture would be. And it would label all the bits. And then it would tell you all about the bits. Which... me and my brother always laugh at this because when we were younger, Matt would get like cross-section books and big book of knowledge books. And I would get like Thomas the Tank and like, you know, like a story. Like
more your speed. Yeah.
Yeah. So, or some sort of story thing like 10 creepy stories for children or something.
Sure. Yeah.
Or something like that. Matt would always get like these really like, he's the smart one. Oh, and no. Give Tom the stupid one.
We're putting all our eggs in the Matt basket.
Yeah, literally. We still laugh about it now. Like whenever we're at Mum's house and she's got like some sort of book, I'm like, I don't know if I'd understand this. Matt, what do you think? It looks a bit complicated. I only get the ones with pictures in.
Oh God,
which
man!
is funny.
These books from pre-Wikipedia days, they probably wouldn't even get written nowadays.
No,
It's a one-page pamphlet saying "Look online, go to this website.com."
It's just
Oh,
that's
geez.
so true.
Mate, we haven't even started talking about anything that we're going to talk about today.
That's okay.
This is such a bad episode.
I think I'm done. I said this a while ago, but that when Apple have got a couple of events left this year, and if they put out a new kind of Mac with this Mac Silicon that's just the top, the top shit.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I think I might be done with PC. I might just sell all the bits and just go all in on Mac.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think so, because I don't play games anymore, and that is the main draw of a PC. Like I play games, but on console. Yeah. And like I know PC gamers will probably cry and explode at the sound of that, but playing games on PC is great, and I do and have really enjoyed it. But at this point in my life, it's a sit on the sofa, controller in hand sort of jobby. I've got the PS5. That's more power probably than my PC. So
yeah, sure. No, it makes sense, man. It does make sense.
Mm-hmm.
See, I can't stop thinking about like those greenhouse windows you get that automatically open when it gets hot.
Oh yeah,
Get one of those. Just get one of those.
Was this in the gravel catalogue?
It was. Well, yeah, it was mate, I'm not doing myself any favours, am I? Oh my God, what is wrong with me? Like, when did this start?
Man, I don't know. Gravel catalogue. What greenhouse is the best?
Oh man, well, I haven't got a greenhouse. All right, not yet.
Not yet. That's
quite
it.
Fancy a greenhouse. Dude, I couldn't get into my shed today because the lock broke shut. Oh. So I had to get the old Dremel on it. I had to cut through my lock on my shed, which was disappointingly easy to do, actually.
Oh, so surprisingly easy.
Yeah, I just gave when people break an apple in half with their bare hands. It was a bit like that.
Love it. Is there anything of value in your shed that really requires a lot?
I can neither confirm nor deny what's
fair enough.
Man, tools and a couple of bikes and stuff.
Yeah.
You don't know where I live, podcast listeners. You don't know. But no, nothing like no diamonds or anything like that. But yeah, just some tools and bikes and things like that, And it's more like a deterrent, isn't it? It's more It's more sort of saying I've got like an automatic light over it as well, because the shed's at the front of the house.
Yeah, man, the automatic light is enough to deter.
Yeah, you'd hope so.
But,
it deterred the Just Eat driver who got the wrong address the other day.
Oh no, you're fine. Come in.
It's okay. I mean, I've started finding things like snot suckers, where you sort of use your mouth and you suck snot out of your kid's nose with a tube.
So into a different tube?
Mate, there's a filter. There's apparently a filter in the middle of it. I don't know. I will never find out firsthand.
Because you'll never buy one, hopefully. That is an awful sounding thing.
I don't know, mate. They reassure you. They're like, oh, yeah. It's like there's disposable filters, so it's all clean. It's sterile. It's clean.
It's been washed. It's clean. It's sterile.
It's like, why would you possibly use that when you can get things like those little bulb, like the little pod ones that you just squeeze and then suck out like into a little pocket, and you don't have to use your mouth. You don't. No one is looking at that and going, I'll just suck that out with my own air power.
I don't need anything like that in my mouth.
Try it, dude. Try it on an adult. Be like, go to Callie and be like, hey, do you got a bit bunged up? Let me try this for you.
That is horrendous news.
Right, let me before we run out of time, I want to ask you my second question, but I don't expect you to answer it now, because I think it will take you a while to think about it.
Oh,
you might. You'll either answer. I was going to sneeze. You'll either answer it straight away.
Hang on, mate.
He's still going.
Hang on. That's really bad. Hang on. Now I'm going to need to cut this out. My voice is completely gone. That's so bad. Maybe I'll leave it in.
There?
No, I'm all right.
Sure?
Oh my God, I'm going to wait to hear what that sounds like back and then decide whether that stays in the episode or not.
That is the cold open.
Oh my God. Oh, that was very unpleasant.
Right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Oh, right, very quickly. Kind of yes and no. We kind of like hit a bit of a. Hang on, I'm gonna burp. Oh my God. So